The Sheffield Steelers, the undisputed #1 team in British ice hockey, double winners last season. They took the league and championship titles and will proudly represent Great Britain in this season's Europa Cup. They've been drawn in a quarter-final group to be played in Holland. They're relaxed and looking forward to the challenge here in Tilburg. And this is where we begin our exclusive coverage of this season's hockey on Sky Sports. Their opening game against the host club, Tilburg Trappers. Well, we couldn't have chosen a better place to start. Hi, I'm Steve James.
And I'm Gia Milinovich. Well, the atmosphere here is absolutely electric. We're all really looking forward to it.
The Sheffield Steelers have some really tough games over this weekend, but you know, I think they've got a great chance of being successful too.
Yeah, well, this weekend's going to be absolutely great, but that's not all we've got in store for you here at Sky Sports, because we're going to be here every week of the ice hockey season, and this is just a little taster of what we've got coming up over the next 6 months.
If you're an ice hockey fan, then Sky Sports is the channel for you.
Every week you can see the best of the sport, exclusive action from the Cup and the Premier League right through until the playoffs.
Over the season, we'll bring you in-depth analysis of our game of the week.
We'll have play-by-play commentary from Tony Millard, and our own import, Bob Corral, has hung up his skates to bring you an expert's insight into the game.
And our magazine show, Ice Warriors, will be packed with absolutely everything you want to know about the sport.
The rules of the game,
ice facts, profiles on the clubs and the players. You'll be finding out what makes us tick.
what's happening in the world of ice hockey.
You'll see it all here on Sky Sports.
Well, if you're new to ice hockey, it's a fast, fun, and physical game, which I'm sure you're going to enjoy. Now, this weekend should bring some fierce competition as the Sheffield Steelers fly the flag for Britain in the Europa Cup.
As the league champions, they take their place in the quarter-final group here in Tilburg, along with the champions of Holland and the champions of Spain and the champions of Slovenia. They'll play the Slovenian side, Olympia Hertz, tomorrow. You'll see that here, and you'll also see live and exclusive the game against Zuri Erdin against Spain. Tonight, they play the host club, Tilburg Trappers, in their first game, and there's going to be a little bit of an opening ceremony as well.
There certainly is. It's by a man named Frank Ashton, who's a local Tilburg boy. And the crowd is actually going insane now, waiting for the players to come out.
We have actually got an awful lot of supporters here as well. All the fans that have come over here from Sheffield, it really is amazing. There's Steeler down there, their mascot as well. He's a huge fella with a huge nose, and he runs around with a hammer as well. It's a great family sport, and they're great fans, and they've come over from Sheffield. I actually went up to Sheffield just a couple of weeks ago to find out a little more about the British champions and also to find out how they're gearing up for their European challenge. Well, the Steelers are #1 in British hockey, and so too are their fans. They regularly pack in capacity crowds of over 9,000 at the state-of-the-art Sheffield Arena. Last season, those supporters were celebrating silverware for the first time. In March, they clinched the league title in dramatic fashion at Nottingham in a winner-takes-all final clash of the fixture list. 1 month later, at Wembley, they lifted the championship trophy, brushing aside Edinburgh Racers 7-2 to prove their supremacy in Britain. The Steelers' rapid rise to the top owes much to senior coach Alex Dampier, whose vast experience includes coaching Nottingham and the Great Britain national side. Over the past 3 years, he's built a successful squad, and this summer he's been on a spending spree to make Sheffield even better again.
Well, I felt we just had to get stronger. A lot of last year came down to a lucky bounce, a good break. And I mean, that happens no matter what team you're with. I'm not criticizing anybody. But I just felt this year a little bit more depth would have helped. And, you know, we went out and secured Tony Hand and Andre Mallow and Nicky Chin. So I think that was a good acquisition for us.
Tony Hand is widely recognised as Britain's best ever homegrown player, the league's top point scorer last season. After a long career with his hometown club in Edinburgh, he's finally moved and doesn't regret going to Sheffield.
Sheffield have an excellent club here. They have a lot of firepower. They've good defence, excellent goal defending. So they have a lot of depth and I think a lot of power. So I'm sure we'll do well.
Forward Nicky Chin is the sport's rising young star, but he has brought some valuable experience too from Cardiff. He scored a crucial goal when the Devils won their quarter-final group here in Tilburg 12 months ago.
It's a different style, but it's basically the elite teams. So it's like putting every first-place team in the league together and just seeing whichever one wins on the day. As I said, the contrast in style is different because the European game is probably a lot more fast skating and less the physical side. So it's a bit of both, you know. You have to get used to all the different styles there.
The challenge will tax Alex Dampier and assistant coach Clyde Toole, especially with injury problems going into the Europa Cup. They'll sorely miss star player Steve Nemeth, who's out indefinitely with an elbow problem, and will be relying more than ever on the experience of former NHL forward Ken Priestley and the man who for many is the Steelers, Rocket Ron Shudra, the club's first ever import.
It's going to be a tough battle. We know that the teams there are not going to be pushovers, or they wouldn't be there. They've strengthened, we've strengthened, and hopefully we can play a game and just eke out the wins, I guess, and get to the next round.
Well, Ron Shudra and the Steelers are quietly confident. They're ready. We're almost ready for the action as well. Still to come before the face-off, we're going to look ahead to the game and the chances with our expert summariser, Bob Correll. But right now, the opening ceremony is in full flow and the fans are loving it. The singer, Frank Ashton. We'll see you after the break.
We're here in Europe.
Get ready to feel the steel. We're simply the best.
We're live in Tilburg, the host club Tilburg Trappers playing Sheffield Steelers tonight. The first game for the Steelers in the Europa Cup quarter-final. The whole game coming up here live on Sky Sports. And I'm joined now by Bob Correll, who is our expert summariser this evening. Bob, great occasion, isn't it? The fans and the atmosphere, it's superb, isn't it?
Well, to be here in person, Steve, is absolutely tremendous. And I think that atmosphere will carry forward and certainly have a big play in terms of what the result here is this evening.
The two teams just coming out, Sheffield in the darker shirts, Tilburg are in the lighter shirts. And the Steelers, how do you rate their chances?
I think they've got an excellent opportunity, Steve. They strengthened their lineup over the summer months. They've got a lot of depth in all departments. Their defense is very strong. They've got people that can score goals for them. And Martin Mackay in their goals is a superb goalkeeper.
What about the other sides? Who is going to be the strongest challenge, do you think?
Well, quite clearly, it's either going to be the Tilburg side, which we're going to see this evening, or perhaps it could be the Slovenian side, who look like they're a very, very capable bunch of ice hockey players.
Well, the fans here, there are so many of them. The atmosphere is really great. Lots of them have come over from Britain, and Gia is down with some of them now.
Well, I found some of the wildest fans here in the stadium. Well, it's not hard to find wild fans here. They're absolutely insane. They've all traveled from Sheffield. Hi, guys. How you doing? How are you doing?
Hello.
How are you doing?
Great to be here. We're going to enjoy ourselves. We've had a good trip over and we hope that we're going to win it.
So let's hear you guys shout. Come on.
Well, the atmosphere is so fantastic and it's so noisy, and that's going to be a great help, Bob Correll, for Sheffield Steelers, I would have thought.
Well, like I say, I mean, all that atmosphere certainly stems out onto the ice, you know, and the guys are all geared up. They want to play. This is the first time that the Sheffield Steelers have ever been in a quarterfinal of a Europa Cup, but they're ready for it. There's some players in their lineup that are certainly capable of doing the job, and I think it's going to be an exceptional night for ice hockey.
Thanks very much, Bob. You know, it's not long until the face-off, so you better go and join Bob, Tony Millard, down in our commentary box. We'll hear more from you later. The team just about to get into position to start this game. Let's join our commentary, Bob, and also, first of all, Tony Millard.
Yes, the atmosphere, as you say, absolutely fantastic here. The opening ceremony matches many I've seen at some of the world's big sporting events. Football's World Cup, cricket's World Cup, they could all match this, but this is the European Cup at ice hockey. The Sheffield Steelers and the Tilburg Trappers. Some 700 or 800 of the Steelers fans are over here, all of them packed into this arena that is 25 years old here at Tilburg, the ice hockey headquarters of Holland. A really great atmosphere. The officials, 2 of them French and 1 from Germany. Monsieur Benoit is the referee. He has, of course, the red armlets around his striped jacket. And the teams are being introduced now to the public here as we're greeted by scenes. And Bob Carroll has joined me back down here. Bob, this afternoon we've seen that fabulous side from Slovenia in operation. That was a one-sided match, but here tonight the Union Jacks are out. We're going to see a real battle, aren't we?
Certainly the sides, Tony, are much more evenly matched, and both have tremendous strength and depth in all departments. So as a result of that, I think we're going to have a tremendous match of ice hockey this evening. The stage is certainly set.
Well, the sad news is, of course, down here, though, Steve Nemeth is not in the lineup for the Sheffield Steelers. We had expected Steve Nemeth out there. It seems that Steve Nemeth is not there, and it seems he's out for a long while, Bob. How much difference is that going to make?
Well, a quality player like Steve Nemeth is certainly going to help their lineup, especially in the offensive department, because he can certainly score goals. Other than that, though, they've got Justin George, who's been brought in from Canada, that played in Michigan Tech last year, which is a major college in the United States. And he certainly has the credentials to score goals, so this will be a tremendous forum and stage for him to do that.
Now, you look at the starting lineups, Bob, and really some tactics coming into play there. I know that both coaches have to declare these starting lineups. How much kidology is there in this?
It's a big part of the game. Obviously, it sets the stage. It's just like anything else. And both coaches have thought about it hard and clear, and I'm sure that as a result of that, both feel that they've got the 5 right guys on the ice to start this game off.
Well, down here in front of us now, we're having the local dignitary conducting the face-off, and it's only going to be a face-off just for the benefit of the cameraman here. Nothing serious, and we can see here that the face-off being taken by there's the lineup, the Sheffield Steelers: Tim Cranston, Scott Neal, Ken Priestley, Tommy Plummer, Justin George, Nicky Chin, Patrick O'Connor, Tony Hand and Les Milley. Matt Darlow is the spare netminder, Perry Doyle, the big defenseman, Rob Wilson back here from his loan spell at Telford, the veteran Neil Abel, Mike O'Connor, the youngster Mark Wright, Chris Kellan, the great veteran of British hockey, Andre Marlowe, the defenseman, Scott Heaton, Ron Shudra there, the skipper, and Martin Mackay, the first choice netminder. He'll be there between the pipes from the start. So there we are, the atmosphere building up. Now, how vital is the first goal going to be, Bob?
I think you'll see both sides coming out, Tony, and they'll be playing a very, very defensive style of play. As a result of that, you know, they're going to be feeling one another out. They're going to see what's what, and they'll take it from there.
Well, they'll take it from there against the Tilburg Trappers. You see the lineup on screen there. Some cracking players there. Jason McKechnie, he's a Canadian. Steve Cruiser, he's a Canadian too. The skipper, Marco Donders. And really, all of them are going to match here. In ice hockey at the moment in Holland is not of the greatest. Rob McGuinness, defender, a Canadian too. Frank Jacobs, Rody Jacobs, Marco Hendricks, the surprise first choice as netminder. And Martin Trommelen, who had expected to be in the nets in the first place, is not there now. He's preferred by Marco Hendricks. So the choice of netminder, but as the atmosphere is building up, a touch of nerves perhaps for the players. But do you believe it's the home side or the Steelers, Bob, that'll be the more nervous?
It's got to be a combination of both, Tony. I won't go either way on this. Tilburg have been in this situation before. It's a bit new to Sheffield, but Sheffield's got all this support here, so that force will be behind them, and it'll be tough to stop.
Well, there's the noise in the background. It's almost like being at home in Sheffield for the Steelers. The face-off, the big match. The Sheffield Steelers in the dark colours playing from our right to left. The Tilburg Trappers, the champions of Holland, they're playing from left to right. The crowd, around 3,500 in here, probably a third of them are here from Sheffield, and they're making most noise as we move up to face-off. The referee, a Frenchman, Monsieur Benoist, is going to drop the puck. We're ready, we're away, we're just about to start the European Cup, and here we go. A great bundle in the centre circle at the moment, and first possession goes, in fact, to the Steelers, and they take it back calmly. It's Andre Marlowe, plays it wide to up the wing he goes, and really they're playing in the middle of the ice at the moment, shade nerves, but there for the Trappers, Hendrick the keeper. Sitter now, here come the Trappers. Holding play up, and away we go, deep into the defensive zone, and it's cracked away, in fact, for the Steelers very quickly there by Mark O'Connor. But here come the Trappers, Boucard, a lovely save there by Mackay. Bob, early pressure coming from the Trappers.
That's right. A little bit of a problem deep in the Steelers zone. Tommy Plummer going back into his own zone with a puck, having a bit of trouble keeping control, and lost it, which enabled a scoring opportunity for Tilburg. Nice save by Martin Mackay.
Well, there now we've got Tony Hand on, and how vital is he going to be, Bob, to the effort here of the Steelers tonight? An outstanding player, isn't he?
He's a tremendous talent, Tony. I can't say enough about the guy. He is so creative out there. He's got so much natural talent, and I think this will show in a competition like this.
Ken Priestley taking the face-off, and Martin Mackay, in fact, playing it safe there, and yet another face-off. A shade of nerves, I think, Bob, between the teams here at the moment, and really perhaps they're both going to take a while to settle.
Both teams fighting to establish a tempo, and until that is established, you're going to see this clutch and grab and bump and grind and very defensive style of play.
Well, Ron Shudra, the outstanding player, very experienced player, he's there. So too is Chris Kellan. So too is Ken Priestley. Tony Hand is there. And it's the Trappers that keep into the zone. But here come the Steelers. Priestley, Shudra. Shudra deep into the corner for the chase. Priestley's after it. Here comes the cover. The forechecking good. But out come the Trappers. Once again snuffing down on the blue line. Offside call against Reeson of the Trappers. And there's a penalty called on there, Bob. What I didn't spot for hooking, I believe.
Ron Shudra holding up his man on the ice. I believe it was number 7, McGuinness. He's just basically taking the body. But an interesting thing here, Tony, is the fact that these players will be testing the referee to see the type of calls that he's going to make, because that, again, will complement the type of tempo that we're going to see here this evening.
So the first chance of a power play for the Tilburg Trappers, and they got Mark Wolf on, who I understand is currently a target both for Nottingham and for Manchester, because he could be leaving Tilburg here. And Mark Wolf's there at the moment, part of the power play for the Trappers. And there's another call for a penalty there, I think, and this time it appears to be against one of the Trappers. An offside call, I think. We thought they were going into the boards, but no, there's a call for offside, and it's only right on the blue line. Ron Shudra down there looking on and just hoping perhaps that his side can hold out on the power play. As the Trappers get it deep into the Steelers zone, the defence is tough, the action is tough, but coming round, Andre Marlowe is round to come there. The 2-minute penalty is down with 1 minute and 40 seconds still to go from Ron Shudra. 1 minute. Ron Shudra sitting in the box as we stand at the moment, biting his nails through his gloves almost, as out come the Trappers, but Chris Kelland is there at the moment, going round behind his own net. And the short-handed Steelers are playing this well, Bob. How vital is it perhaps to keep possession?
It is. Important thing here is not to let Tilburg get wound up, because clearly they've got a very good skating side, and if you give them that room, they're going to damage you.
And McGuinness causing the double to McKechnie, and the miss there from Reeson, and here come the Sheffield Steelers are away. Out comes the young Marco Hendricks. The puck falls loose, and that was a great chance coming the way of the Steelers on the break. A minute left on the penalty for Ron Shudra as McKechnie fires it deep into the zone. The chase is on. Reeson wins the battle there. Hooked away by Priestley. Referee gets in the way. Round behind the Steelers' net. Trappers hold it in, but here come the Steelers again. Away goes Chris Kelland. He's going to try and kill this penalty. There's still 30 seconds left as Kellen retains possession. The big check there on the blue line. The Trappers gain possession once again. Graham Bucart comes out with the puck. Away to his right. Tommy Reeson up into the crowd, that one. Comes back down off the netting. We haven't got plexiglass here, but it dropped down dead off the netting as the Trappers hold it in. Just 9 seconds left on the penalty. Shudra is getting ready to come out from the penalty box. They're changing on the fly, both teams. And that, Bob, is a great effort by the Steelers to kill that penalty.
They never give any real good scoring opportunities away, Tony, so they have to be pleased with that penalty-killing effort.
It was killed well, and then Tim Cranston came on and immediately gets a shot. As once again, Shudra gets possession. It's round behind the goal, flicked out, but here come the Trappers once again. Marco Dondas on the puck. McInnes for the Trappers. It's won very quickly by Cranston. Round behind the goal. There's a big shout from the Sheffield fans there. But they're not going to win that. The referee takes no notice. In goes the shot from McInnes. Brought down well by Mackay. And they won't mind changing on that. A frenetic period, Bob. We've been playing for nearly 4 minutes. No quarter asked, none given. A really competitive match.
The tempo is certainly there. Coach Alex Dampier and Clyde Toole must be saying to his defensive corps to make sure that you gain that blue line. Don't let their forwards get inside of it. Stand them up there. As a result of that, we're seeing a few offsides early on in the game, but situations whereby the Tilburg club are having to dump the puck in the zone.
Well, the jutting jaw there of Alex Dampier, but the Trappers still have the ball deep in. But here come the Steelers on the break. There goes Nemeth. A magnificent effort from Nemeth. Wrongly called as not playing, but Nemeth is out there, and Nemeth certainly getting into the play quickly. Right up in the corner. So another face-off then, deep in the area. And there's Steve Nemeth, the talented Canadian, taking a little throw. But he's going to play a part. Bob.
This goes to show you, Tony, just how important Steve Nemeth is to this lineup. He's in here, he's playing injured, but he's given 110%. He just about had himself a goal down there. Unfortunately, didn't go his way, but you can certainly key on him for some offensive power.
Yes, a talented player, but the Trappers in the front of the net. The puck running loose, and it's flicked out. Nemeth lifts his foot over it. It's whacked back in by the Trappers. The cover is here. Mark Wolf's on his own. He tries to get round. Lovely defensive play by Kellen, picked up by Cruz. Round the back of the net. Cruz thumped into the boards by Kellen as the puck is kept into the boards, and there's going to be another face-off, but it runs loose, and they're pulling it away quickly and well is Rob Wilson. Wilson back from his loan spell on Telson. Justin George on the puck. George has a man outside him. In goes the shot. A brilliant save, or nearly so, as it goes round behind the goal. A chance for a breather here. And we're without the goaltender on the delayed penalty is taken off here with an empty Steelers net, with the Steelers in possession with 5 minutes gone. Bob.
Yes, Sheffield will be just trying to keep control and gain possession in the offensive zone.
They've almost got it there, because as soon as they lose possession, Priestley's got the puck, delaying the penalty, and now the referee blows the whistle there. Quite a hectic play, Bob. The penalty called on the Trappers there, and Bob, that was quite an eventful occasion there, because all hell letting loose. Mark Wolf, a key player, goes off, but the Steelers had a chance with 6 men on the ice.
They do, and they did that play very well, Tony, in the sense that they gained control, they got it into the offensive zone, and they tried to set the play up so that they could get a shot on goal. 6 players against 5. You've got that extra man on there, and a tremendous opportunity to get more offensive punch.
And it's now the power play coming the way of the Sheffield Steelers, and their power play ratio to success and goals is nearly 1 in 3 this season. And let's see if this could be one of those, Rob, because that first goal surely in this match is going to be vital.
They've got all their big players out there in terms of offense. Tony Hand, Ron Shudra, and of course Ken Priestley, who's got 168 games in the National Hockey League, and he scored some goals there, so I think we can look for him to do so here tonight.
Here come the Steelers. The power play is on. The rush is on, and here we go. There is the talented Tony Hand, but slightly just offside. They moved in there early. Somebody went in there far too quickly, and that means that one attack has been repelled by the Tilburg Trappers. So Tony Hand certainly talented there, but it only was a narrow thing. A talented Tony Hand. Tony Hand, such an important player, such a good player, Robin. I know you've in fact played with him. How would you describe his real ability?
Well, he creates so much time on the puck, and people key on him, which leaves other people open. As a result of that, you know, he's a tremendous playmaker. I have never played with a player that is so creative with the puck as Tony Hand is.
And here they go in force, because here's Hand picking the puck up deep around behind the goal. It's crashed back into the Steelers zone by the Trappers, playing one short. The penalty has 1 minute and 20 seconds remaining. A mistake there by Shudra, but once again it's picked up for the Steelers by Chris Kellers, who brings it out, and the puck held against the boards in front of the Steelers benches. But there's Tony Hand, fails to control that one. It's flicked back deep into the Trappers' defensive zone and hooked forward, but once again here come the Steelers. Shudra has it down left to Tony Hand. Tony Hand has Nemeth on the crease. There goes the goal. The first one, a magnificent pass by Tony Hand, and a magnificent goal by Ron Shudra. Ron Shudra gets the first goal there. The assist will certainly go to Tony Hand. The first goal, a marvellous one, and the Steelers have broken the deadlock on the power play, Bob.
Tony Hand coming with a puck into the zone. He elects to pass it back to Ron Shudra, who makes no mistake on the slap shot. Tony Hand again, looking for room. He's got two options here. He elects to hit Shudra, coming in late on the play. He just takes the slap shot.
Costly effort then for Mark Wolf. Ron Shudra, the goal scorer. Now the Trappers are back to strength, but with 6 minutes and 20 seconds gone. So Tony Hand, the architect, Ron Shudra, the executioner, and a lovely check. That was a very, very heavy body check on the red line by Andre Marlowe to shake up the home side. Then here comes the Steelers. Steelers 1, the Trappers 0. There goes Paul for icing there, Bob.
We talked earlier on in the game, Tony, about the Sheffield coaching staff and making sure that Tilburg does not gain that blue line. Hence, you get very big hits, such as you saw there with Andre Mallow catching that guy through the neutral zone. Those are big hits for the team. That just changes the tempo of the game completely.
One gets the impression, Bob, the spirit of the Steelers side is at a peak at the moment with that goal, doing exactly what they want. They're now going to establish control.
They certainly are, and as we say, it's something like a fight in ice hockey. That's one of the reasons why it sometimes happens, is to change the momentum of the game.
Here come the Steelers, the inexperienced keeper, equal to his effort, but now the Trappers are away. End-to-end stuff here in the Tilburg Ice Arena. DeCourt with a shot, the block from Andre Marlowe. The puck comes loose, and away come the Steelers once again. That's Tim Cranston. Cranston over his own blue line, has men with him. Here goes Marlowe down the left flank. Marlowe puts it into the corner. The chase is on from defence and attack alike. Cranston eases it back to point. In goes the shot. The tender is screened, but away come the Trappers. Trappers outnumbering 2 each here. DeCourt. Call for a penalty. McKenzie. The shot just off target from McInnes. And it seems that the referee is showing some concern at that, but away we go. Steelers in possession. It looked remarkably as if Nemeth was offside. But the tender is off because the penalty is called, and now it's the turn of the Trappers to have 6 men on the ice. McInnes down the line, pulls it across. But Tony Hand wins the puck. The penalty is called, and there we had the action where it counted, but to the sin bin. And who is it, Bob?
Temper's starting to flare. It's Tommy Plummer. He's going off. I'm not sure what the call is, but there's certainly some argument coming from the Sheffield bench and the player himself.
So a second power play opportunity for the Tilburg Trappers here, and it means there's a lot of work to be done. Alex Dampier showing some concern.
That's right, Alex Dampier will be saying to his defensemen, listen guys, you get the puck in our zone, don't make any cross-ice passes out there. That's about twice now that Sheffield's defensemen have got caught passing a puck across the ice in their own zone. It's intercepted, and of course Tilburg are capitalizing with an excellent scoring opportunity.
Jacobs for Tilburg. Cruz with the puck in the corner. 17 battling for Tilburg. That's Frank Jacobs, and the sticks are high. The action is thick and fast here, and certainly for the 800 or so Sheffield fans, it's mighty enjoying. Words are being said here. And
one of the players today that's certainly in a lineup that's kept his age well is number 21, Chris Kellen, to the Sheffield Steelers. At 38 years of age, I'll tell you, he plays the game very, very well. He's a tremendous skater and so smart out there with the puck.
The slap shot goes in, Mackay's equal to it. The propagator, Rob McInnes. Mark Wolf, the man who served the penalty when the power play goal was scored by the Steelers, but now it's the turn of the Trappers for the power play. They're playing the puck around. Mackay knows it's behind him, he's not quite sure where. A little bit of a nudge goes in there, but the Trappers have got it. Van Gerwen with the shot. Mackay kills it. Cruz are in on the crease. Bit of fun goes on there, Bob. I think we call it fun, and the lines are going to change. We've got 1 minute and 17 seconds left. 1 minute and 17 seconds without Tommy Plummer.
Martin Mackay in a Sheffield goal. He just elects to hang on to this puck, this shot from the point. It's a very innocent shot, but he doesn't want to take any chances. Sheffield are playing very defensive on this shorthanded situation. They're tightening up the middle of the ice. They're making it very difficult for the Tilburg side to get a good shot on goal. If they're going to get a shot, it's going to be from outside or from a bad angle, which nullifies the scoring opportunity to a great extent.
Well, here come the Trappers then, 5-4 on us, outnumbering the Steelers, with the Steelers adopting that packed defence and trying to hold things tight. There's just over a minute to go on the penalty. The puck is hit up the ice. It's blocked just inside his crease there by Marco Hendricks, and Reeson is there. And 26 for the Trappers is David Bucart, flicked into the defensive zone for the Steelers as the Trappers come forward. Thick and fast against the board. Once again, the puck is hit out. One short, of course, no icing call. 32 seconds on the penalty. Tommy Plummer is getting ready to come out, keeping his eye on the play. Here come the Trappers, deep into the zone to Court. McKechnie, the slap shot from McKechnie is wide, and this is going to come out of the zone. The Steelers will like that one. Both teams are going to change their lines. 11 seconds on the penalty. Plummer about to come out of the box. Still the power play with the Trappers. Here they come. Donders with the shot, just wide of the post. Once again, the Steelers survive. Back on the ice and back at full strength of the Steelers. Another short-handed effort of the Steelers for 2 minutes, and they've done well as it flicked round about. A lovely effort there, going round, but the penalty is called. Donders was the man who had the great opportunity to score, and here we see who's got the penalty. It's called down in front of us here.
I believe that's Martin Mackay getting that call for the net actually coming off its moorings. You can see a little bit of frustration being set in by the Sheffield side as a result of that. Again, they're trying to test the referee. They want to find out what type of calls he's going to make. Nice little wraparound here by Tilburg, but to no avail as Mackay comes and covers the short side of the net, and the puck just went by.
Les Millie's going to sit out the penalty against Mackay for delaying the game, we are told. Well, he certainly seemed to ease the goal nets out of their moorings, and that means another chance for a power play for the Tilburg Trappers. Les Millie is the man in the box. Bob, just explain for us why Millie sits the penalty out. The keeper stays on, doesn't he?
That's right, the goalkeeper never comes off the ice, even if the infraction is due to himself, but it has to be served by a player who was on the ice at the time.
And Les Millie was on the ice at the time, now he's in the penalty box at the time, so the Trappers have yet another power play, their third of the match so far. They keep the puck in. The experienced Canadian Rob McGuinness keeps it inside the blue line, gets the shot flicked in, whacked up the ice again. No icing called. In fact, it's straight at Hendricks in the goal, but coming back for the Trappers, number 17 there is Frank Jacobs. Helping him, 14, Theo van Gerwen, bringing the puck up. Almost losing possession, but here they go. Kelland in pursuit, Priestley's chasing him. Back to the point. Puck fired in behind the goal. There's a man on the crease, danger threatens, but no, it's flicked away. Frank Jacobs. On the point, the big shot's in there from the 14, and almost put in his own net. It's flicked away in the end by Chris Kelland, who almost deflected it past Mackay. And still the Trappers come forward. A minute of the penalty remaining, being served by Les Millie. Once again, the Trappers cruise with the puck. Back over his own red line. And they're going to have trouble here. There's another penalty. No, the penalty is not called. Van Gerwen appeared to have dived there, Bob. Was that a dive, or should it have been a penalty?
According to the official, Tony, it was a dive. I think he rated that one about 9.5.
The offside call there against the Trappers. 35 seconds on the penalty, 35 seconds more, and the Steelers, to be honest, are killing this penalties very well, aren't they, Bob?
They are. We see Cruz just breaking in over the blue line. That's that so-called 9.5 dive, but he was definitely going for goal. There's no question about that.
Bob Carroll, the Olympic diving judge, getting it 100% right. The referee was exactly right, and now the face-off just outside the blue line, but still the Steelers are short-handed. The Trappers have the power play. The home fans are getting behind their team. The Steelers fans are making themselves, or their presence felt, certainly. Boucart trying to flick it into the zone. DeCourt has it for the Trappers. Reeson, McKechnie on the right. Defensive cover is there. Marlowe goes across. Hooked away well there by Nikichin. Boucart, a touch of holding there. Reeson tries to get it into the zone. It's going to be offside. 3 seconds, 2 seconds. One of the penalty. Les Millie's back on the ice. And once again, the Steelers are back to strength. Well, every time they've done it, every time they've held on, haven't they, Bob?
They have, and they've done a tremendous job of maintaining their zone, frustrating the Trapper side. But Coach Alex Dampier, you know, he'll be concerned because he's sitting there saying to himself, we cannot afford to play at a competitive level like this shorthanded all night long. It's got to give somewhere, and if they continue to take penalties, it's only a matter of time before Tilburg are going to score a goal.
3 times we've seen Tilburg penalties seen off by Sheffield on the power play for Tilburg. 3 times the Steelers have survived it, and they've done well. But once again, here comes Tilburg. Both sides back to strength now. A chance for some of the key men perhaps to have a rest. Marlowe, the defensive cover. Down they go. The action in the corner, thick and fast. Cranston away on the right. The shot goes in. Dropped down quickly, but here comes Tilburg once again. Problems up here. The crowd on their feet away to our right. There goes Van Heuvel. Nobody on the end of it. Whacked away for the Steelers by O'Connor. Up the ice and out they come. Some things happening back in the defensive zone here. The referee shoved into the boards by Van der Heuvel in front of us, and a penalty is being called here, I think. Bob, over in the far corner, all sorts of things going on. There we have Mike O'Connor is having his say. And there are going to be penalties called here, Bob, and 2 of them seem to be going off.
Mike O'Connor doesn't seem to be very happy with that call, as him and McGuinness had a little bit of a repercussion in the corner. But I can tell you, Mike O'Connor is one guy that you don't want to fool around with. All of almost 16 stone, and he's been around the game a long time. He's a very steady force on a Sheffield defense. Once again, though, we have a penalty problem, which is even strength now, but like I say, you cannot continue to get penalties, otherwise you're going to run into trouble, and Dampier will be telling that to his players.
Well, Mark Donders, the captain of the Trappers, is the man who's sent to the box there. So both sides playing one short. Mark O'Connor for the Trappers, for the Steelers, and Mark Donders certainly for the Tilburg Trappers in the box. So both sides playing with 4 men. So how are we going to see it? Nicky Chin's on there, Chris Kellen's on there. And
there's a question of issue here, Tony. These 2 minor penalties are called coincidental minor penalties. And what they're having in terms of discussion is whether or not they stay at full strength with both teams having 6 players on the ice, or do they revert to what's happened in the penalty box and 5 players being on the ice at one time.
The Tilburg Trappers seem to have a different reason to this from the Steelers, because back home in the British League, it seems normally if one man is off from both sides, both play one short for 2 minutes.
That's right. This coincidental minor penalty is a very difficult one, and there's obviously a lot of inconsistency in the manner in which it's called by the referee.
Well, here they've decided that I think both teams are going to play one short, which means that one of the Trappers has got to go off.
The situation lies like this. Michael Connor has received a 2+2 minute minor penalty with a total of 4 minutes, whereas number 45, Donders, has received a 5-minute major penalty for his altercation. So as a result of that, Sheffield will play a man short, but Tilburg will have five players on the ice, or a full-strength squad.
So there we are. There's the action explained by Bob Carroll, and it means that Tilburg are going to be in charge here, and this will be, of course, a foul play situation for Tilburg, and Sheffield once again have to hold out, Bob, and that's what you were saying about they can't keep going on like this, can they?
That's right. Sheffield will try and maintain their blue line, but interestingly enough, we're going to see a contrast in styles here. We're going to see a very European style being played by Tilburg, as we've seen so far, and a very clutch and grab, bump and grind style played by the Sheffield Steelers. You will never see Tilburg dump the puck into the zone hardly. They'll hang on to it.
They have now decided to reduce the penalty call to 2 minutes on the board, and we'll just have to see what that happens. It now seems that we still have Tilburg Trappers playing with 5 on ice. Cruz with the puck. The backhand shot is going to go in there. Van Gerwen wins it, but here away for the Steelers, and the possession is held brilliantly there by Steve Nemeth. But here we go again with Mark Wolf. He's going to have a chance here, but a lovely effort on defence there, and the referee and linesman are going to have their work cut out here sorting this out, because the Steelers have to battle. They have in the box Mark O'Connor. Mark Donders for the Trappers is in the box as well, and 1 minute and 34 seconds. But let's watch this with Bob.
That's right. Tilburg just managed to step in and around a guy at the Sheffield blue line and create a 2-on-1, but thank God to Nicky Chin, who was an excellent back checker on the play. He comes from behind and actually nullifies the 2-on-1 situation. Martin Mackay just elects to cover up.
Well, cover up they've got to continue doing, and deep defensive hockey is the order of the day here for the Sheffield Steelers, as the power play once again is with the Tilburg Trappers, 5 men to 4. And Gerwen. And here come the Steelers. And there is Tim Cranston on his own. Is somebody going to flatten him here? Surely it's a penalty call. No, the referee lets it go. Cranston fails to take advantage. Hassled out of it there. And they did well not to bring him down, Bob.
They did. Cranston, usually a very good player in situations like that, but let the puck just get a little too far ahead of him. He knew he was pressurized.
Here comes Cranston hitting the puck out. There's going to be no icing called here. They're changing lines on the fly, but here come the Trappers. They don't want to get caught on the hop. Cruiser on the right, sailing through the middle. Number 7 for the Trappers there is Rob McGuinness. A talented Canadian is Rob McGuinness. Brother of a player who plays for Calgary back in the National Hockey League. Reeson into the corner, sticks are high. Reeson is holding it in. Tony Hand is there for the Steelers. Played out to McKechnie for the Trappers. In goes the shot. Mackay gets behind it. Reeson tries to find space but doesn't. 3 chances coming the way. Mackay equal to it, Bob. It seemed that Mackay was unsighted, but they still survived.
Martin Mackay, he's a very big guy, and he covers a lot of that net, and as a result of that, he's just standing up and challenging the shooter. and they're having no choice but to shoot it right into his pads.
18 seconds on the penalty clock to go. 18 seconds, it seems, for which the Steelers will remain short-handed. And we'll have to see the outcome. It seems the major penalty going to Donders, and the 2-minute penalty it was reduced to in the end for Mark O'Connor, which means that the Steelers play short-handed, and the major penalty being served there by Mark Donders.
If I was the coaching staff of the Sheffield Steelers, I'd certainly be concerned with the change in calls there on those altercations. But as a result of that, that's all history now. They just hope to kill this off and keep themselves with a 1-goal lead.
Well, so far, every penalty they've incurred, the Steelers have managed to kill off. They've got the vital goal. That was a peach of a goal from Ron Shudra, assisted by Tony Hand. But we know now that it's going to be tough here against the Tilburg Trappers for the Sheffield Steelers, Bob. And as you say, it's going to be even tougher if they keep having to kill penalties.
Certainly so. A very important face-off here, Tony. Whoever wins this will likely gain possession.
Well, there it's in the corner. The Trappers eased out by 24, but played away and up the ice for the Steelers there. And they know that they've got time to get back. And there's Mark O'Connor back on the ice with the Steelers back to strength. And that's, once again, they've held out. And that, as far as I can see, is 4 times they've survived the Tilburg Trappers power play. And that is defensive hockey at its very best, isn't it, Bob?
When Alex Dampier builds an ice hockey team, his first point of admission is that they've got to be strong defensively. A few years back, when he was actually coaching the Nottingham Panthers, he actually went with 2 import defensemen at that time as a complement of 3 for that very, very reason.
Well, all sorts of arguments going on down at the penalty bench in front of us, and now we appear to have another one of the Steelers is being banished to the bench, and really it's getting very difficult to explain these calls, but it's Mark O'Connor back in the penalty box, and it seems as if the second 2 minutes is now going to have to be served, despite the penalty board saying he only had 2 minutes to serve. So it seems that once again Mark O'Connor is back in the box. Tilburg have a power play situation.
This is very difficult to understand from up here in the press box, as O'Connor still maintains to sit in the penalty box, although no time shows on the clock for the penalty.
And the Sheffield Steelers are back to strength, so quite how they're employing these regulations here is difficult to understand at the moment, but both teams back to strength. Tony Hand is the man who's going to win that. Here come the Trappers once again, but it's one back well by Ron Shudra. Can Shudra get by? Here comes a lovely effort from Priestley as he's flattened and well taken by Hendricks. A great chance of a goal there for the Steelers, and Priestley and Shudra combining well, Bob.
Tony Hand was the key to that play, creating a turnover in neutral ice territory. Tilburg had the puck, they lost it, and he makes the pass to Shudra. He sees the trailer, or I should say Ken Priestley, coming in late, and he gets a good scoring opportunity.
A scoring opportunity that was denied him by Marco Hendricks, who's having a good game in the nets here. The face-off then to the left of the Trappers' goal, to the right as you look at it from the Steelers' angle. Here come the Trappers once again. Reeson. Wolf doesn't bother. Reeson chases it. Kellen holds him off. Kellen keeps the puck in the corner. Flicks it out, but only as far as McInnes. In goes the shot. Third away by. And here come the Steelers there, but the forechecking is great from the Trappers. Oh, once again, great effort. Nicky Chin in possession. Round the back comes Chin. Just past the post there from Tommy Plummer. And up the ice we go. Steve Nemeth, in fact, the man who almost got on the end of that one. Steve Nemeth almost getting on the end of the pass from Nicky Chin. And the Steelers starting when they get the men on the ice, Bob, to show their superiority.
They're very strong offensively once they get going. I thought a very good play there by Nicky Chin, as he showed a lot of maturity to hang on to that puck. He could have actually shot that puck, but he elected to hang on to it, go around behind the net, and catch the trailer, which happened to be Steve Nemeth. It could easily have been 2-0.
While at the moment it's still 1-0, and every penalty call the Steelers have survived, despite being outnumbered so far on no fewer than 4 occasions. They've survived the Tilburg Trappers power play, and that's a good effort by any standard. Man in the box is still O'Connor, and we're not quite sure how they call those penalties because they've changed them not once but twice, and nobody really can work out why Mike O'Connor is still sitting in the box. But the Steelers are up to strength. There is no man from so here come the Trappers. And away into the area, and there's a chance here for goal for the Trappers to equalise. A nice angle there from Martin Mackay, and the referee, his attention is drawn to the altercation going away to our right, and somebody's going to be offside here. But oh dear, the jump. Van der Heuvel certainly jumped at the back there, but play goes on, and he was jumping on his man. And back into the Trappers zone, round the back of the goal. Once again, the officials have to go in. They are getting in quickly here, but their interpretation, O'Connor is now out of the box. And as we understand, there goes O'Connor back to the bench, Bob, and we now understand that he got 2+2, but the first coincidental penalty meant that it was he that served 2 minutes, and the other two wiped each other out.
Right, that was the call there. Coach Alex Dampier continues to shuffle his lines a little bit, I suppose partially because he's played so much of this first period short-handed, but you can see by the look on his face that he's not pleased with the way the officiating is going.
I don't think he's pleased on the officiating, but one thing that must be pleasing him is the way his team has survived those Tilburg Trapper power plays, as the puck is now deep in the Trapper zone, but here they come again. Kelland is in there, but the referee has found more problems, and there are more problems for the Steelers because there is another penalty, and really they're going to have to sort this out. The man into the box this time is once again Les Milley, 23, but this time he's incurred the penalty of his own volition, and Les Milley sits out 2 minutes with 2 minutes and 17 seconds of the period to go. For the 5th time in this match so far, the Steelers are outnumbered, Bob.
You can't continue to have it. Chris Callan showing his worth there, not letting a player get through. In situations like that, if the puck gets through, the man cannot afford to get through.
O'Connor, who's had a rest in the box, flips the puck way up the ice where it's seen sideways by Marco Hendricks. In fact, he finds his own man, McInnes, on the power play for the Tilburg Trappers. Once again, big men are out. Marco Wolf's there. Cruz is there, the Canadian. Taken deep into the zone by Van Gerwen. Good effort there by Tommy Plummer. Minute and a half of the penalty remaining. 90 seconds to survive. 1 minute and 44 seconds of the period to survive.
A positive point for the Sheffield Steelers so far in this game is any time they've been in a situation where they've been in a one-on-one battle, they have won the puck. And that's primarily due to the fact that they actually outweigh this Tilburg side in terms of average size. I was doing a little calculation, Tony, and the average size of the Sheffield side is actually 13 stone 2 pounds, as opposed to Tilburg, which is 12.7. And that little bit of difference in weight there makes a tremendous significance once you get out onto that ice.
McInnes and Wolf combine. Cruz is there for Tilburg, as Tilburg keep the puck deep in the end. But the Steelers get it out, and once again a breather for the men at the back. 5 times they've conceded a man advantage in this match so far, and that is the time, as Bob says, that the Trappers start to get back in the game. Priestley is back there to kill the penalty and flick it out, but not far enough. Only goes to Mark Wolf. Wolf finds his man. Oh, chances coming the way of the Trappers there. An open net if they got a man in the crease. Van Gerwen plays it across to McInnes. McInnes to Wolf. The shot's there, but it's over the top. Round the back of the net. Cruz is involved for the Trappers there. Ron Schudra's in there. It's flicked away quickly by O'Connor. But on point again, Van Gerwen with the shot. A lovely save, but it's on the edge of the crease. Twice it's saved by Mackay. Real action. Martin Mackay, the 27-year-old former Edinburgh player, the hero there. There are still 20 seconds of the penalty remaining, and Alex Dampier is looking concerned, but he needn't be concerned about his goaltender, who's a real hero, isn't he?
He's certainly come up big for him so far in this game, and you can see the exhaustion on his face because he certainly faced a lot of rubber early on in this game. But once again, it's a short-handed effort. Nice shot there, a slap shot from the point on Mackay. One bang, two bangs, rebound. He just elects to hang on once again to create the face-off in the zone.
So for almost half the period, we've now seen the Steelers playing this one short, and that's a handicap that no side can surely survive, Bob.
Well, they certainly can't, and something's going to have to change here. The tactics will have to change, and I'm sure that the coaches of the Sheffield Steelers will be talking to their players in that regard.
And once again, they've survived. The fifth time, Les Millie's back on the ice. Away come the Steelers. They're back to strength. And for the fifth time, the Tilburg Trappers have failed to take advantage of that power play. Just 1 second of the period to go. That's it. There goes the hooter. There goes the hooter to end a period. And we know that that's been a magnificent rearguard action by the Sheffield Steelers, because we know the one goal that counted, Ron Shudra, assisted by Tony Hand, has made it 1-0 to the Sheffield Steelers.
Welcome back to Tilburg, live on Sky Sports. The first game for the Sheffield Steelers, the British champions in the Europa Cup quarter-final. They lead after 20 minutes by 1-0 against the host side, Tilburg Trappers. It's been quite a game. They've got the only goal of the game so far, but they've taken an awful lot of penalties. They've actually played, Bob Corral, half of that game with 5 penalties, half of that game with one man short.
It's absolutely phenomenal. I mean, every time I think a British side comes to Europe to play in a competition, they always run into this problem. They always run into penalties, and in a lot of situations, Alex Dampier should be aware of that, because he's certainly been in Europe before. He's certainly been involved with the national team and that sort of thing, so he'll know that all these things are going on. It's just a question of trying to determine how they're going to stop it.
Is this because the British game is more physical than the European referees actually like?
Well, I believe that the official tonight is from France, and quite clearly they're a very strong European style of play there. As a result of that, he's looking for a freewheeling flow, a lot of skating sort of effort out there. Sheffield are electing to bump and grind, take the body and that sort of thing. As a result, they're finding themselves in a penalty box.
Well, Tilburg only took one penalty themselves, but they were made to pay for it, because that's when the Steelers got their goal. Let's have a look at it now.
Well, they certainly capitalized. Tony Hand coming into the zone. Now, he's got a number of options here. He's got another guy going to the net, but he elects to catch Ron Shudra, who's the trailer on the play. He makes no mistake on the slap shot. But this is the key to Tony Hand. He is so creative, and he is so smart with a puck. Look at him wait for it. Boom, right back to Shudra. Bang, that's in the net. That goalie isn't going to touch that.
Well, that's why they call him Rocket Ron Shudra, because that shot is almost unstoppable. But actually, really, it was the perfect way to play the power play. You could see from that how they drew their man out of position and scored the goal.
That's right. They took advantage of the situation. They knew that they had a man advantage on the ice, one extra guy, and as a result of it, they highlighted that and took full advantage.
Well, Sheffield had their problems taking a lot of penalties, but they also weren't entirely good at the back either.
Here's a situation with Andre Mallow with the puck in his own zone. He makes an errant pass across the ice, and boy, I'll tell you, that could have just as easily been inside the Sheffield net.
I think Mark Wolf will feel very disappointed he didn't score that for Tilburg, to be honest, won't he?
He certainly will. I think if he had the opportunity again, I don't think he'd make a mistake a second time.
Tilburg must be very disappointed, I would have thought, the way the period's gone, because they're behind and yet they have had plenty of the puck.
Well, this is the key. You know, you're talking about a team playing shorthanded for a majority of a period and still failing to put, you know, any numbers on the board. As a result of that, Sheffield have to be pretty pleased with the fact that they've come out of that period unscathed. But if they can get themselves back to full strength, they're certainly capable of playing at this level, and I'm sure that they'll do a very good job.
Let's have a look back down at the other end and see this save from the Tilburg goalkeeper. And Sheffield going forward here.
Millie just takes the shot inside the zone, and what happens there is that play continues on, and Millie ends up taking a penalty on that play, but he steps inside the blue line, lets that shot go, and he's got a very good slap shot, and that's a tremendous scoring opportunity.
They had one or two other chances as well. Steve Nemeth was playing in this game, and we weren't really sure at the start of this game whether he was going to or not. He got forward from time to time. Are we going to see Steve Nemeth throughout the whole game, do you think, or really, well, is he fit enough to play the full 60 minutes?
Well, Steve Nemeth's a very strong competitor, so I think he'll be there throughout the game. He made a decision to, or the coaching staff made a decision with him to play in this game, so he'll be there throughout unless he gets injured or something. But more importantly, Alex Dampier is shuffling his lineup continuously. He's always putting different players on with different players, and that's just to throw things around, plus the fact that he's been shorthanded for the majority of the period, which makes it very difficult.
Ken Priestley had an opportunity as well to get on the score sheet.
Ron Schuderer again into play here. He tries to get around the Tilburg defender. He just catches Priestley coming in late for a nice little shot, and actually Priestley, I'm surprised he didn't put that puck home because he's a very prolific goal scorer, a former NHL player. He can shoot.
And then right at the end of the period, the Tilburg Trappers almost got the goal to get the equaliser, but didn't quite work.
It didn't. Again, a 5-on-4 situation with Sheffield short-handed. The shot coming from the point on the slap shot, but Mackay should say one save, two saves, loose puck in the zone. He elects to jump on it and just make the stoppage in play.
Well, I'm not quite sure exactly what the Sheffield Steelers will be making of all of that and what Alex Dampier is going to be saying to his players. He's certainly going to have to tell them to take an awful lot less penalties, and those Steelers fans are going to be wondering what on earth is happening. Second period coming up live here on Sky Sports after the break. Welcome back to our coverage of the Europa Cup quarter-final, live from Tilburg here on Sky. The Sheffield Steelers leading the Tilburg Trappers after the first period. And the home side really finding out that Sheffield are made of steel because they took 5 penalties. They were down one man throughout half of that first period, but they got the only goal. There's also been one other game already in this competition so far. It was played this afternoon between the Slovenian champions and the Spanish champions. And it didn't take long for the Slovenians, who many people think may be the strongest side in this competition, to get on the score sheet. They, in fact, got off to such a good start, they actually scored 3 goals within the first 2 minutes, and the Spanish side at that point knew they were in for a very tough afternoon indeed. That's the way it worked out. The Slovenians eased up a little bit at times, but they were able to put in 17 goals to 2. And obviously they are the side that is going to be the team to beat. They play Sheffield Steelers tomorrow afternoon, and you can hear it, or you can see it here on Sky, in Sky Sports Saturday tomorrow afternoon. The Sheffield Steelers have had tremendous support this afternoon and this evening. The supporters, with all their mascots as well, have come over in their hundreds from Sheffield. There's 800 of their supporters altogether over here, and they've really made it quite an atmosphere. And the Sheffield Steelers have needed that support because during the course of that first period, they were up against it a little bit at times, and it's going to be very interesting to see whether or not Alex Dampier can somehow make sure that those fans don't have quite such a nail-biting time in the second period by making sure that somehow they don't take penalties. They certainly start them young in Sheffield. That's a Steelers fan just waiting for the two teams to come out. They better come out soon or it'll be past that young man's bedtime if they don't get back onto the ice. Great Britain being proudly represented by the Sheffield Steelers in this particular game, and the teams for the second period should be due on the ice very shortly indeed here in this Tilburg rink, which actually holds 4,000. Not so many Tilburg Trappers fans as we might have thought there would have been in this rink. They're going through a little bit of a spell of the doldrums at the moment as far as they're concerned in Holland and ice hockey, and the Sheffield Steelers supporters are actually well represented man for man and woman for woman and child for child compared to the numbers of the home fans in this particular crowd, and if you look around, you'll also see some supporters around the rink as well from other clubs besides Sheffield that have travelled over from Britain. It's around about 20 supporters who've come over from Cardiff, but there's some Tilburg Trappers hats on. So there's obviously one or two home fans there as well. And the second period is about to start. If it's going to be as exciting as the second period, you daren't blink. Let's go and join our commentators, Bob Correll, and first of all, Tony Millard.
Well, here they come, and here come the Sheffield Steelers, led, of course, by their hero there, because Martin Mackay has done so well to hold the Tilburg Trappers at bay. An outstanding performance by him during the first period. The goal, of course, from Ron Shudra, assisted by Tony Hand, but no fewer than 5 power plays came the way of the Tilburg Trappers, and each and every one was survived by the Sheffield Steelers. The Trappers now coming out onto the ice, but the Steelers, let's hope, alongside me, Bob Correll, that they're going to survive without conceding so many unnecessary penalties.
It's something that they'll have talked about between periods, Tony. And I'm also certain that the Tilburg side will be saying to themselves, listen, what do we got to do to get into that zone and create some sort of scoring opportunity and penetration on Martin Mackay? They've clearly had some good shots, but to no avail. And as a result of that, they still find themselves off the score sheet.
Well, they may be off the score sheet, and Martin Mackay has got a clean sheet so far, and he'll be loving, I'm sure, to take that all the way to the final hooter here. But what an atmosphere in this Tilburg Stadium. It really makes it sound like Wembley at its very best, Bob, and I'm sure that the Sheffield fans, all 800 of them who've come here this evening, are going to remember their trip to Holland, if only for this first night.
A lot of pressure on the Sheffield Steelers because of the success of the Cardiff Devils last year in this competition, so I think they found their feet in that first period, and I'm sure that we're going to see a much more tempo style game in the second and third periods.
What do you think Alex Dampier has actually said during the last few minutes before they came out?
Well, I know the first thing he said is stay out of the penalty box, because if we get back in there, we're really going to be in trouble.
Well, here we are then. We're ready for the face-off. This is the second period. 1-0 it is to the Sheffield Steelers. They survived all those penalty calls, 5 power plays to the Tilburg Trappers. And here we're about to start the second period. The fans are still coming in. Alex Dampier is having his say in the Steelers bench. And now we're ready to get underway for this, the second period. It's the Europa Cup, the European Cup. And here we go with immediately the Sheffield Steelers in possession of forcing the puck back down into the Trappers zone, but in turn for the Trappers, whacked out by Jason McKechnie, but here comes the puck, and away, oh, it was so nearly onto the edge of the crease there to give a chance to the Sheffield Steelers, but this is going to be won by Les Millie. Millie in a tangle with Van Gerwen, back indeed, and a time for O'Connor. O'Connor to Kellen, picking it up. Here goes Plummer to collect the puck in the corner. Les Millie's round the back. There goes Plummer with the shot. He falls down. Away come the Trappers once again. McKechnie's going over the line, surely early, no. McKechnie in possession, the slap shot's there. Way off target, the deflection it goes. And there's Les Millie back behind his own goal. Millie holds it, controls it well. Picard tries to block him, falls to Priestley. Priestley flicks it up, and in the end, it's away into the corner with Andre Marlowe putting it there. But here come the Trappers once again. Bit of sparring, perhaps, wondering what the opposition are going to do, Bob.
That's right. Sheffield changing their game plan somewhat. They're sending a forechecker in, which is something that they didn't do in the first period. As a result, Tilburg are pressurized a little bit coming out of their zone.
Reeson for Tilburg, crunches it to the boards. Puck played back, a chance here for McKechnie. Brilliant save by Mackay again. A marvellous save by my man of the match at the moment, Martin Mackay. He's having a great game in the nets there, Bob.
He certainly is. He's having a little bit of luck, because that's the second time that McGuinness has had a shot from roughly around the same area, and he's missed the net on both occasions.
For the Steelers, Rob Wilson gets it out, but no, it's still in a dangerous position. Cruz has again, the shot is kept out. Cruz with the shot, the second shot going in from McGuinness. Once again, the check is good. Shudra is there to clear it. Pressure from the Trappers. Tom Reeson Out it comes. Surely they can't keep this out. Yes, he does. Mackay's goal is leading a charmed life. They're outnumbered because there, as the penalty called, and the keeper was off, and the penalty called there. An interesting one there, Bob.
Interference to call on Rob Wilson, currently on loan to the Telford Tigers. Lots of action deep in the zone and behind the net. Once again, another clear shot by a Tilburg player. He just missed on the far side there. Lots of pressure. Martin Mackay coming up to the task once again early in this second period.
And Marco Hendricks going off so that the Trappers could have 6 men on the ice as soon as he saw the referee's call. And once again, well, we started the second period with the same old story. A Tilburg Trappers power play and the Steelers up against it short-handed, Bob.
Let's certainly not hope so, but it'll be interesting to see how Sheffield changes their plan of attack in terms of defending these penalties and minimizing the number of skaters.
To court for the Trappers
Tilburg
with
has.
a shot. Mackay with a save once again. Referee in there sharpish, and already seen off 19 seconds of the penalty. Rob Wilson, the man down in front of us in the penalty box. Rob Wilson, of course, a recall from his loan spell at Telford. He's had 2 seasons at Sheffield. Bob.
The Tilburg player, Descartes, just coming in over the blue line and taking the slap shot. Mackay just stands him up, makes a save, and hangs on to the puck to create the face-off.
The pressure being caused by the Trappers. A lovely check there, and certainly that was making itself felt, because the Steelers know when to put it about, and certainly there it was a bit of heavy bodily contact from Mike O'Connor, and it certainly did what the Steelers wanted. And now the face-off is up the other end of the rink, and on they come. 1 minute and 19 seconds remaining of the penalty. The 6th time they've had to kill a penalty, Bob, and once again they're doing it effectively.
I can remember, Tony, a couple years back when Great Britain actually met Holland in Pool B of the World Championship competition, actually in Eindhoven, which is just down the road from here. And the type and style of game was very similar to this. And Dampier will be remembering that. It was very, very tough in the first 2 periods, but in fact, Holland actually backed off, and that's when Great Britain was able to take advantage. I think this could possibly happen for Sheffield.
The puck deep in the Tilburg zone, with Tilburg outnumbered. The power play the way of Tilburg. Here they come. Cruz on the right. There goes Van Gerwen. There goes Cruz. Lovely bit of defensive work on the blue line there for the Steelers, and the chase is on. Minute left. Rob Wilson sitting on the box. The battle is joined. That's where they want to keep the puck. But here for the Tilburg Trappers comes Rob McInnes. So impressive. Cruz is with him. Jacobs is with him. Van Gerwen plays it wide right. And again, great defensive work. The Steelers going back deep onto their blue line, playing it out when it counts. And Tim Cranston using his brain on that one. Once again, though, here come the Trappers on the power play. Deep into the zone, McInnes, surely a trip there, the referee waves play on, Shudra whacks it out. McInnes must have thought he was tripped there, but they haven't finished yet. McInnes wants Cruz. Cruz comes through, McInnes is wide left of him. The interception from Plummer, 15 seconds on the penalty. Can they hold on yet again? Van Gerwen, will he get the shot in? There goes the shot, Mackay's equal to it. He's equal to that one as well, as McInnes is in there. Mackay tonight, Bob, is absolutely brilliant. Just 3 seconds remain on the penalty, and they've almost done it again.
They have plenty of scoring opportunities on this 2-minute minor penalty to the Sheffield Steelers. And it looks like the players are perhaps getting a bit tired. Mind you, you've got to skate that much more when you're playing in a shorthanded situation. And as a result of that, it's going to have its wear and tear on you, especially if there's the level of anticipation that's happening now.
Wilson getting ready to come out, just 3 seconds to go of the penalty, the first penalty of the period, and the Steelers once again short-handed. If they can survive this, it'll be number 6 of the power plays against the Tilburg Trackers. They survive. Wilson is back on the ice. Is it in time? Mackay sees that one go by. Back to strength for the Steelers as they come forward. Ken Priestley, a good one there. The quick turn is from Chris Kelland. Here come the Trappers to Tony Hand. Wilson flicks it in. Tony Hand has the puck in the corner. The Trappers are forced back this time. Can the Steelers stay penalty free for a while? Brought out by Van Gerwen. Is out and everybody has a breather. Bob, now he's got his team back to full strength. Surely Alex Dampier will say, come on, we've got to go forward. We've got to show them how we can play.
There'll be some chopping and changing now, Tony, in terms of the way that Alex Dampier actually prepares his lineup. You're going to see him trying to get players on the ice that normally would play together. As a result of that, you'll see a more fluent style of play as opposed to this chopping and changing as a result of the shorthanded situation all the time.
So let's see if they can get together. Let's see if they can fashion a second goal. The man that laid on that first goal, Tony Hand, is on the ice at the moment. It's O'Connor back deep in his own defensive zone. They get it out well. Here we come. And now it's away with Tony Hand. Can he make something out of this? In goes the slap shot from a narrow angle. Back to the point. George is there. Tries to hold it in. 22 is Andre Marlowe. Turning there, the penalty called yet again. And the goaltender has gone off as the Trappers now have 6 on the ice. And here they go, deep into the defensive zone. The penalty is called, and yet again a power play situation coming the way of the Tilburg Trappers. Bob, really, this keeps going the same way every time they get going, and every time, bang, it's a penalty once again. And this time, 22, Andre Marlowe is the man that goes into the box. So there we are. The second time in this period that the Steelers are short-handed, and it's the 7th time in the match. Andre Marlowe this time going to the penalty bench. And once again, Alex Dampier and his men have got to work out their strategy, Bob, to keep them at bay.
Fair enough when it's a situation where the penalty is somewhat warranted, but I don't think that the coaching staff of the Steelers will be very happy with that call. The reason being is because it was a bit of a cheap shot by Mallow in the neutral zone. And I'm sure that the coaching staff has said to the players, listen guys, the referee's on us enough. We can't afford to have cheap shots being called against us, and we've got to try and stay in this game in other manners.
McGuinness and Wolf combining. McGuinness on the puck, deep inside the Steelers' defensive zone. Round the back of the net goes Cruz. Surely can't keep this one out. Once again, a miracle from Mackay. The goaltender is having the game to end all games, and surely a penalty at last will be called. Yes, a penalty called against the Trappers this time. And I think the Steelers believe that at long last something might be going their way, because that time we know now, and we are down to level pegging, and the Steelers have a chance as into the box goes Van Gerwen.
Van Gerwen, a national team player, very big fellow, about 6'3", 14 stone, and he likes to compete and likes to get stuck in there. But as we said, it's a situation now where finally Sheffield is able to play man for man with the Tilburg Ice Hockey Club, and I'm certain that we're going to see a transition as play as a result of that.
So there we go, back to equal. There's just 4 out ice players for each team now, and the Steelers have eased off yet another power play situation against the Trappers. Here come the Steelers. 2 clocks, 1 minute and 10 seconds remaining on Andre Marlowe's penalty. 1 minute and 44 seconds, and another penalty called on the Trappers. This is the chance here, and we know now that there's going to be a power play situation here, because it looks as if the penalty might have been for hooking there, but we're waiting to see the referee's decision. Now, interference he's called it for. Interference, the penalty called on McKechnie, who certainly doesn't like that one. An interference penalty called, and now can the Steelers make it count, Bob?
Well, the situation has changed. Now we see the Tilburg coaching staff perhaps having a bit of a frown on the old forehead as a result of what's happening with them. It'll be interesting to see what sort of a power play that Sheffield can inspire on the Tilburg side with them being 2 men short. Definitely a lot more room out there, and this ice surface is big enough as it is. So I can see Sheffield moving the puck around very, very well.
Well, the only time the Steelers have had a power play tonight, they've scored. That's when Rod Shudra got his goal from Tony Hand's assist, or the only power play. So now we have 3 clocks running with still 59 seconds remaining of Andre Marlowe's penalty. But here come the Steelers. The shot goes in. The tender falls back. He holds the puck there. 52 seconds remain on the penalty for Andre Marlowe. 1 minute and 29 seconds remaining on the penalty for Van Gerwen, and McKechnie has 1 minute and 45 minutes to serve. So 2 men in the box for the Trappers, and just one Sheffield man at the far end. So a one-man advantage, a power play situation, and the big men are on. 1-0 the lead for the Sheffield Steelers at the moment. That goal from Ron Shudra, he and Tony Hand are there, and there is Shudra with the shot on point. Can he make it? No, he's the man that goal on the previous power play. The Steelers have the men. Shudra again, can he make space? Yes, he can. In goes the shot, the pass misdirected. They've just got to be patient here, Bob, haven't they?
They do, and here you see Tony Hand creating once again. He's just waiting for the right opportunity.
Wilson on the point now, gets the shot in low, flicked away, keeps it inside in the defensive zone. It's vital they keep it there. There's Shudra. Can he keep it in? Hands away to his left. They're passing it around well. Can somebody get a shot in? Priestley, the shot missed, a lovely pass from Priestley. Just 8 seconds remaining on Andre Marlowe's penalty, and then there's a double advantage. Wilson, in goes the shot from Shudra, and it's there! A marvellous goal, their second power play goal, a second goal of the game scored by Ron Shudra. A magnificent goal for the Steelers.
They just waited for their opportunity. They were very cool out there. The puck comes out to the point to Wilson. He just passes it over to the shooter. That's Ron Shudra. And can he shoot a puck? Boom, that goaltender never had any chance whatsoever. Watch him let this puck go. Bang, right in the ice. No chance for the goaltender. 2-0 Sheffield Steelers. We've got a barn burner on our hands, Tony.
And once the puck left his stick, it had goal written all over it. And still it's a power play situation, because McKechnie is still off the ice. 2-0 to the Steelers, and still a power play situation in favour for the remaining 49 seconds, because McKechnie's still in the box, and that means 5 plays 4. The power play still the way of the Steelers. They've had 2 power play situations so far tonight, and twice they've scored the goal. It's really vital that that happens, and it just shows what could have happened, Bob, if they'd avoided all those penalties.
That's right. Bit of complication here with Sheffield in their own zone. Kellen losing his stick and having a bit of trouble getting out of the zone, but they seem to have regrouped now.
Here goes Tony Hand, deep into the attacking zone. He's taken out, but the advantage is still there. Kelland is waiting. Kelland's on point here. The shot goes in. It's kicked away by Hendricks. Here come the Trappers. Flicked away. Once again, here go the Steelers. They're on this again here, and they lose possession just when it counts, and away come the Trappers, who are back to stink. Steve Cruz is there. The referee says no. He waves play on, and the Steelers survive, because had he got possession, McKechnie was on the crease, but still danger threatens. Out it comes, in it goes. Once again, Mackay saves it. The Sheffield goaltender here, Bob, is playing out of his skin, isn't he?
You need hot goaltending, Tony.
Here we go, though, Bob, because away come the Steelers. There's Tony Hand. Can he make it free? A lovely save as Tony Hand flicks it back. It's still loose. Tony Hand, a great chance, but here come the Trappers now. Up to the other end of the ice. It's end-to-end stuff. No penalty called. Mackay keeps it out. Here come the Steelers again. Brilliant hockey played here. Plummer up to the far end. Cranston. There is the puck. What a great opportunity. Come in the way of Priestley. And away come the Trappers. This action is thick and fast. Remember, though, the scoreline that counts is 2-0. Both sides back to strength. All changing over. And we all have a rest, Bob. That was frenetic in the extreme, wasn't it?
There's the hero so far this evening. But actually, after that second goal, Tony, the crowd actually quietened a little bit, especially the hometown crowd. But as a result of the transactions and the things that have been going on that ice, some of those big hits, end-to-end action, Tilburg player just trying to get around Wilson, goes right into Mackay there, and once again, not able to get a real good shot away, but just clears it to the side of the ice.
But the action now right up the other end of the rink, and we have the Trappers in possession, but the Steelers are now fighting and showing what might have been if they'd avoided the penalties. Here come the Trappers. Into the end it is. Away come the Trappers. DeCourt A penalty, perhaps. No, yes, there's a penalty called once again on the Steelers, and once again they're going to play short-handed. Another penalty is called, and they don't seem to like this one. We'll have to see what happens. The Sheffield Steelers fans are irate. The penalty is called for tripping. A penalty called for tripping this time on Van der Heuvel. Van der Heuvel, number 23, is into the box with a 2-minute penalty for tripping, which means the power play, in fact, goes the way of the Sheffield Steelers, and we thought it was going to be the other way, Bob.
Close enough, I can tell you that, Tony, but so often in ice hockey, the tables change. The referee is given a distinct advantage to Tilburg in the first period, but we see the transition changing now. We see Sheffield starting to get some power play advantages, and as a result of that, they're capitalizing on them, which is the big, big difference.
Well, the big news, Sheffield lead by 2-0, and both of those have come on power plays, and here we have the power play now. It's Priestley, he's on his own. Priestley is there, can he slip it behind the tender? No, it's kept out, and Priestley's taken into the boards as the Trappers take the puck right up the ice, and once again, it's going to be Wilson to mount the power play for the Sheffield Steelers. Time to catch their breath, time for us to catch our breath after some frenetic hockey exactly halfway through the game. The Steelers leading by 2-0. The puck deep into their attacking zone, deep behind the goal of the Trappers. Can they hold it in there? There's a man on point. That man on point is Rob Wilson, and he's going to take it back and make time. Priestley's with it. Deep into the zone, and there's Tony Hand. Can Tony Hand pick up this one? No, the pass is across 2 lines, which means the face-off is right back in the Steelers' defensive zone. And really a disappointment there for Tony Hand, but the power play situation is still prevailing. Van der Heuvel is still in the box. Van der Heuvel has 1 minute and 13 seconds to serve, and that's the time on the power play remaining for the Sheffield Steelers. Bob, can they take advantage of this?
I certainly hope so. You know, Tony, when you're in a big game like this and you're sitting in a penalty box like Van der Heuvel is, it seems like an eternity. You can hardly wait for that 2 minutes to be over with, and you just hope that they don't score a goal.
Well, let's see what happens here. 2-0 in favour of the Sheffield Steelers. Here come the Steelers again. Deep into the end. Deep into the end zone and holding there. The power play, there's 1 minute and 2 seconds remaining. Steelers have a chance on this one. Can they keep it up there? The Trappers are working hard. Bodies are going down everywhere. Puck's out of the zone. On the puck, unstable. Andre Marlowe. Referee calling play back.
An offside pass there by the Sheffield Steelers, and I'll try to explain that one, Tony. A team makes an offside pass when a player passes the puck from his defending zone, which is inside the blue line, to a teammate beyond the center red line. So we saw that in that situation. That puck is called back. The face-off goes just inside the blue line where the actual pass took place.
Van der Heuvel has 48 seconds remaining in the box. 48 seconds of the power play, the way of the Sheffield Steelers. Cranston with the puck. Thomas with him, Millie's with him. The man trading is Cranston. Brought down there, the shout for the penalty. Referee says no. Marlowe's in there. Another penalty called.
Number 11 of the Sheffield Steelers, Tommy Plummer, down. He made that nice little pass to Tim Cranston stepping over the blue line, and probably just watched where the puck was going a little bit too long. Tilburg defender just stepped right into him, caught him a bit flat-footed, but he'll be all right. He's a very rough, tough customer, and he'll be back out next shift.
The face-off is still certainly in the Tilburg half of the rink, and 23 seconds remain on the power play, with Van der Heuvel still in the penalty box. Thankfully, he's okay. They're tough, these hockey players, Bob.
They gotta be, you know. It's a tough old game out there.
Steve Manneth is there, trying to force the puck into the zone, but it's whacked up ice. Martin Mackay is there. Shudra. 12 seconds remaining. The power play. Van der Heuvel getting ready to come out on the ice. The forechecking from the Tilburg Trappers is certainly telling here. Seconds to go, just 3. They lose possession when it counts, and the Trappers are back to full strength. And the Trappers' turn it has been to kill a penalty successfully. Nemeth forechecking well. Here come the Trappers. 23 for the Trappers, Van der Heuvel. Bundled into the boards, there by Rob Wilson. And the penalty seems to be called again on Rob Wilson. And once again, the Steelers are going to have to play short-handed. Rob Wilson's second penalty of the match, and a vital one, Bob. And I think really, same old story as we say, they're going to have to keep playing it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 penalties they've served so far. They're mounting up, aren't they?
They are, and no matter what you think, there's very much a big part of that that becomes wear and tear of your key players who are having to play more as a result of that, and perhaps take a bit more punishment out there.
I don't think he enjoyed that one, did he? Well, it's a 5-minute penalty. A 5-minute penalty has now been called, Bob, and Shudra has had a say, and that means that Wilson is certainly out and away. It looks as if he's banished for the match.
Well, he's very disappointed, and he's made his way into the dressing room. I don't know whether he's got a 5+ game on that, but we see Justin George stepping into the penalty box to serve the penalty.
Well, Justin George has gone into the penalty box to serve the 5-minute penalty, and that means once again the Steelers are up against it, and it looks as if Rob Wilson is out of the match, Bob.
In a situation where you have a major penalty like that, 5 minutes, you do not have to have a player on the ice, Tony, to serve the penalty for the player that the infraction occurred with. So hence you've got Justin George coming off the bench and sitting that penalty.
But this is going to be tough for the Steelers as the Tilburg Trappers come forward. Their crowd, their fans are getting behind them. Van Gerwen up into the corner. Wilson seemingly out for the match, and the 5-minute penalty being served for him by Justin George. Well, he came out of the dressing room with his jersey off to have a look at that, and he's still shaking his head. But still his teammates have got to fight for this one. There he is. There's Rob Wilson, far from happy, Bob.
He certainly isn't. Obviously, he's a bit disappointed because he knows that his teammates are relying on him quite heavily in a big game like this.
So here come the Trappers once again, and once again Mackay's equal to it. They've survived so far, 1 minute and 10 seconds of it. Bodies going everywhere. They've got to fight. The Steelers defending well. More than that, and that's it. The goal has been scored. Van Gerwen getting that on 14 minutes. The power play goal coming for the Trappers. Van Gerwen it was who got it. And really, Bob, that was, I suppose, always going to come with them playing short-handed.
That's right. The puck comes back to the point to Van Gerwen. He lets the slap shot go. I think there's a bit of a screen here on Martin Mackay. I'm not certain he saw the puck the whole way. But Van Gerwen, number 14, he's capable of letting a shot go. There's no question about that. He puts everything into this one to put the score line to 2-1.
And with the major penalty, Bob, it means that the Steelers continue to play short-handed.
They do.
So there's plenty of work here, and the power play is on. 2-1 then, but still the power play the way of the Tilburg Trappers. And the Steelers have to hold them out for another 3.5 minutes. The puck flicked up the ice. 6 minutes and 20 seconds remaining on the period. The Steelers are making it difficult for themselves, but they still lead by 2-1. Here come the Trappers once again. McKechnie, beautiful defence, but the offside is called by the referee. And that means the face-off will now be just outside the blue line, Bob, and the Steelers breathe again.
We talked earlier on, Tony, about the number of offsides that are being called. We talked about the Sheffield Steelers trying to maintain their blue line. In other words, not letting Tilburg gain the offensive zone or Sheffield's defensive zone. As a result of that, you see a lot of offsides being called. The players are being held up and they just can't hold off any longer.
Well, they've got to work here, have the Steelers, and each time they whack the puck up the ice like that, will they get themselves a few seconds to change their lines and have a breather. 3 minutes remaining on the penalty, the major penalty. Already 1 goal conceded. The Bucart brothers are there, flicked deep into the zone, the cover provided by Tim Cranston. They still haven't got it outside. The Steelers need to get this outside their zone, and they have now. Once again, Reeson comes back for the Trappers. It's tough. Millie, Cranston is chasing. O'Connor's out there and doing well. Cranston calls for a replacement. No, he turns it away, but here goes 21 for the Trappers. Bram Bucart. But the puck flicked up the ice. They're changing on the fly. Just over 2 minutes of the penalty remaining. Still 2-1 to the Sheffield Steelers. McGuinness with the sharp shot. Deflected onto the netting. No plexiglass here at Tilburg. The puck in the corner. It's the Trappers. Just 2 minutes and 3 seconds remaining on the penalty. Bob, can they survive?
Let's certainly hope so. They've worked very, very hard to maintain their position in this match so far. And it'd be a shame, you know, to see that being lost as a result of a shorthanded situation.
Justin George, the man we're seeing sitting in the box, but nothing that he's done wrong. He's sitting out the penalty for Rob Wilson, who seems to be out of the game now, and that really is a problem. Wilson brought back from Telford to play in this match for the Steelers. Supporters of both sides really getting behind their teams, and really this is a tough spell to survive. There goes the shot, a slightly miscued from Jacobs for the Tilburg Trappers, but it's still deep in the Steelers zone. McGuinness is chasing after it. And the cover going in from Nicky Chin. Tony Hand playing his part. Knock outside. A few more seconds of valuable time with McGuinness on it. Cover again, Steelers in possession, vital to kill the penalty off here. A minute and a half remaining. A minute and a half remaining. It's Wilson's penalty being served here by Justin George. Here come the Trappers. Mackay equal to that one, and Mackay really, perhaps for his efforts so far, Bob, perhaps deserving a shutout, but really even he had to give way to that pressure, didn't he?
He did. As we discussed before, though, I don't think he completely saw that shot entirely. Nice moves here by Van Gerven to get inside the blue line and get the shot away. But I'm sure the coaching staff of Tilburg, Tony, will be saying, listen, guys, important to gain the zone, but once we gain the zone, let's try and set things up in there a little bit so that we can create a better scoring opportunity. That wasn't a great shot on goal. It was always going to be a deflection or something in that.
Well, 4 minutes and 20 seconds of the period remaining. 1 minute and 17 seconds remaining on the penalty, and the Steelers have to play short for that time on the major penalty. Once again, a few seconds of breather. Priestley, here comes a chance there for a short-handed goal, and it was so close there. A minute remaining on the penalty. Can the Steelers survive? They lead 2-1. This vital Europa Cup match here in Tilburg. On the puck is Steve Nemeth. He doesn't get it out. But this time, in the end, certainly he does that time, but the Trappers get it back deep into the zone. 40 seconds remaining. And here goes Ken Priestley on his own. Can he get it? No, he just took it too far, but he's got it where it counts, and the shot goes in there. Only fractionally right from Ken Priestley. Desperately close to a short-handed goal. Here come the Trappers. Donders going forward. Van der Heuvel, Gosselin with the puck. Leaves it to Donders. One, in fact, by O'Connor. Down from Mackay. 10 seconds remaining on the penalty. Justin George getting ready to come on the ice as the puck's played high and deep to the far end of the rink. 3 minutes of the period remaining. 3 seconds of the penalty. George can come back on the ice and does. Back to full strength, the Steelers. And once again, I think they may breathe a sigh of relief at that, but it's not over yet. The cover from O'Connor. The puck out of the zone, and this time probably icing will be called.
That's one great thing about being able to shoot the puck down the length of the ice, Tony, especially if you're shorthanded. Not only does that give you a moment or a chance to react. I see the Sheffield Steeler fans are really getting into this one. They really support their club. Anyways, getting back to icing and shooting the puck down the ice. But it also makes the other team have to go back down the ice, pick the puck up, and come all the way back down again. And I'll tell you, that's tiring. You get sick and tired of doing that after a while.
So the face-off deep in the Steelers area. 2 minutes and 47 seconds remaining, and still the Trappers in possession. But here come the Steelers. Nicky Chin, former Cardiff player with Cardiff last season, but there's problems here in the far corner. We've got Chris Kelland is involved, and certainly we know there that Chris can look after himself, and the referees are going to have to sort that out. Chris Kelland having a battle with Henry de Korp, and the referees are going to sort this out here, Bob. Shall we say handbags at 5 feet again?
Temper's starting to flare. Chris Kelland is a great player. He's so smart, and he's been around the game a long time. He just does little things to irritate players. And as a result of that, you know, he's doing this for a reason, and it's to create a little time for his guys, because he knows that they've been driven hard this period, and they've had to kill a lot of penalties. And as a result of that, he's felt that he can't back down at this stage, but at least they're offsetting, whatever the case may be.
And it seems it's going to be far from simple here, because the referee's having a debate with the timekeeper down in front of us. We know certainly that Chris Kelland's in the box, and de Korp is in there as well for Tilburg, but we don't yet know quite what they are. There's a cross-checking penalty that certainly has been awarded there, and we're just waiting to see what the outcome is and just how much goes up on the board. Certainly coincidental penalties to start with, Bob, so do we get a clue by the number of men remaining on the ice?
Well, we've got 4 at the moment, but both sides are changing hands. I would have thought that it should be 2-minute minor penalties.
Well, there's a 10-minute misconduct called for somebody here, and we can't quite hear for whom.
This one looks like it's
in the
gone.
box, and he's got Van Ranzel with him, which means that the misconduct penalty is clearly against the player from Tilburg Trappers, de Korp.
Once again, things seem to go Sheffield's way. That's very fortunate, and that'll turn the tables of the game. There's another little inspiration in that play. Nice little job by Chris Kelland to tie up the player deep in the zone and cause some problems there, and as a result of that, he can see his side going to the offense.
Well, we've also got Mark Wright coming to the box, which seems to indicate that both players on a coincidental penalty, because both teams are staying at full strength. So both players have certainly a 2-minute, at least one of them, and a misconduct penalty. Well, the Trappers are battling. 2 minutes and 17 seconds remaining. 22 for the Steelers. Andre Marlowe playing his part. Here come the Trappers. Mark Wolf, so dangerous. Mark Wolf, a target back in England for both Nottingham and Manchester. But the shout there, there's a penalty called. And the noise behind the goal. The Sheffield Steelers fans are far from happy with the penalty, but they know now that they can be a lot happier, because the man going to the box is from the Tilburg Trappers, and now we have no fewer than 3 men from Trappers, and Mark Wolf is such an influential player that for him to be serving a penalty, Bob, that's going to count to the Steelers' advantage.
That's right. Here we see Wolf trying to gain possession deep inside Sheffield's zone. Mallow able to get the advantage on him, but he just hangs on to the stick of Andre Mallow after he falls down, and as a result of that, takes the holding call.
So the Steelers power play, and remember, both their goals have come in a power play situation, and here comes Tony Hand across the blue line. Les Millie's with him. On his way, and with him is Priestley. It's coming back to Ron Shudra. The big men are there. Shudra's there, Les Milley, Ken Priestley on the puck. Shudra, Milley with a shot. Flicked up in the air by the goaltender Hendricks for Tilburg. The 1 minute and 20 seconds of the penalty remaining is what comes when the difference between the two teams is worked out, and that means it's Mark Wolf's penalty that's been counted because the other players are equal by both teams. Kelland and Wright are in the box to serve the 2 and 10 for Kelland. That's for the Steelers. Ranbranzoff and DeCourt are in the box for the Trappers, and they're serving the 2 and 10 on that side. So now we know that there's a power play of 1 minute remaining and 55 seconds remaining on the period. So the Steelers still have a chance here to capitalise on the power play. But what's vital, Bob, is the Steelers lead by 2-1.
They do. They'll be looking to add to that, especially into this final minute of the second period, because if you can score a goal within a minute of the period actually closing, that's very, very demoralizing to the other team.
Here goes Steve Nemeth with the shot, the slap shot, and the tender almost loses that one. Somehow he manages to get down on that. And Bob, really, that was acrobatics. I don't think Marco Hendricks had the slightest idea where that puck was.
It was between his legs, and it's a very sort of blind spot in terms of goalkeepers. Nice little play by Ron Shudra to get it to Nemeth, who just steps inside the blue line, lets the slap shot go. That almost goes through the 5-hole, as we say.
Well, the Steelers still have the puck where they want it. That's deep in the Trappers' end. Ron Shudra's there. Steve Nemeth is there. It's coming back to Shudra on point. Can they get it in front of the crease? Shudra's going to get the shot in. No, he isn't. There goes the slap shot. There's trouble in front of the crease. But once again, Marco Hendricks is equal to that. And the argy-bargies are coming thick and fast. Tempers, Bob, are really starting to boil, aren't they?
They are. Coach Alex Dampier and Clyde Toole are changing their tactics somewhat. They're trying to create some offense from the defensemen, or the point shooters, I should say. But the key to this is having Nicky Chin in front of the net. Now the puck crosses the ice. Tony Hans gets the shot, but look where Nicky Chin is. He's right in front of that goalkeeper to try and screen him, not let him see the puck, and perhaps score a goal.
Back to the action then, as once again the puck played into the Trappers' end, but flicked out and clear to the far end there. And Ron Shudra is going to trace that. Just half a minute remaining of this period, and that time remaining on the power play for the Sheffield Steelers, who now with Ken Priestley on the break. Can they capitalise? In goes the shot. And the tender there, Marco Hendricks knocks it down, and there are 17 seconds remaining. And all on the power play for the Sheffield Steelers. But Hendricks starting to take over the role of Mackay. But a quick one here, Bob. This afternoon's match, which saw a very impressive Slovenian side, was a totally different type of game, wasn't it?
Very much so. I mean, quite clearly, the Spanish weren't up to much against Slovenia as a result of the fact that they're just not strong enough to play against them. But Slovenia will be a contender in this tournament.
Here we go with seconds to go, just 16 seconds, a chance of a shot here for the Steelers. Back on point, there's Shudra. There goes the shot in, completely missed, in fact, by Tony Hand, and that was unusual. And can they keep it in the zone? No, they can't. Steve Nemeth with 2 seconds remaining in the period. And there we go, at the end of the period, with Tilburg Trappers down the home side by 2-1 to the Sheffield Steelers. Sheffield Steelers' second goal in that period coming from Rod Shudra, who once again got it on the power play. And we know that the Steelers lead by 2-1, but once again, penalties were invaluable, and it really counted. 2-1, in fact, to the Sheffield Steelers.
Welcome back. Tilburg Trappers 1, Sheffield Steelers 2. It's the Europa Cup quarter-final. 2 periods gone, and this could hardly be a better competition for our first coverage here. It's quite something in this first match that we're covering here live and exclusive on Sky Sports. We've got a great deal of coverage to come throughout the season, and this is a wonderful way to start, isn't it, Bob? It's such a close game.
It certainly is, Steve. I mean, from my point of view, I don't know. I think it might be easier to actually be down on the ice than up here because it's certainly an atmosphere, and whoever paid to get into this game tonight has certainly got their money's worth so far.
And Sheffield Steelers netminder Martin Mackay is certainly earning his money.
He is, but in the same breath, at the other end, the Tilburg goalkeeper has done a tremendous job as well. We see DeCourt just coming in here, taking the slap shot, and Mackay making the save. A little bit of a rebound, but he covers right up on it, which he's been doing all night, and that's been a big key to his success.
And just after that, there was a penalty. It really has been a penalty-strewn game, hasn't it?
It certainly has. Something's in it, like quite clearly, you know, someone has said something to somebody in terms of officiating or whatever. Once again, the puck deep in the zone. Steve Nemeth just trying to clear it, but doesn't manage to do so, and it stays inside the zone. Still behind the net, comes off the boards on a rebound, but once again, Mackay manages to cut the angle down, and that player is forced to shoot that puck wide.
Okay, well, Tilburg have certainly had their chances, and they've also come pretty close, Sheffield Steelers themselves, from time to time. And they got a second goal of the game. Ron Shooter again was the scorer. Tell us about that one, Bob.
He is. Puck deep in the zone, just comes back to the point to Rob Wilson. He one-times it over to Ron Shudra. Now he's in his prime position there. He just lets the shot go. That goalkeeper had no chance. The puck was low, and he's got a tremendous shot. He can really shoot the puck.
Ron Shudra with that goal, and back at the other end, Marty Mackay was almost always in the thick of the action, even when the penalties were flying.
He was. I mean, he's come up with some tremendous saves, but one of the things about ice hockey, Steve, is you need hot goalkeeping. You've got to have a guy that's doing a job. Tony Hand going in on a breakaway. He knows there's a guy behind him. He perhaps rushes it a bit. He gets the shot away, but it's a nice save.
So that was the other netminder making the save. Marty Mackay was actually beaten on one occasion. I think we can see the Tilburg Trappers goal coming up now that made it 2-1. We'll wait for that in a moment. But certainly Tilburg pressed hard enough, and it was bound to come in the end. The number of penalties, really, that they took in the end, they were bound to score. I think it was something like 15 minutes of penalties before they actually got one in the back of the net, Tilburg.
It was. I mean, you know, it was a question of time. We discussed that while the play-by-play was going on. You know, it was a matter of time before it was going to happen. And as a result of that, I don't actually think that Martin Mackay actually saw that puck the whole time. I mean, the shot came from the point, but I believe he was screened. In other words, there was somebody in front of him. They blocked his vision, and he couldn't see it totally. As a result, it managed to catch him a bit flat-footed.
I'll tell you what we'll do now, Bob. We'll go and find out what Alex Dampier, the Sheffield coach, thinks about it all, because he's with Gia.
Thank you very much for talking to us. I've managed to grab him. Now, you spent about half the time in the penalty box so far, but you've kept Tilburg down to 1 point. What's your game plan for the next period?
Well, I think the main thing is we've got to keep out of the penalty box. You know, we 5-on-5, we can play with them, but 5-on-4, we're just getting too many guys tired. Rob Wilson's now been thrown out of the game, and Chris Kellen's got a 14-minute penalty. So, you know, it's putting us short-staffed on D. You know, we'll just have to struggle through it. But I think that, you know, the key thing is we need to play 5-on-5.
So is it tougher than you thought it was going to be today?
No, we've played Holland before. They're a good club. You know, they're well drilled. You know, Dougie Mason's a good coach. He's got them playing well. It's a tight game. It's entertaining, but again, I think it all boils down to who wants to play 5-on-5. You know, if we get the power plays, we'll score. If they get it, they're eventually going to score.
So are the guys tired out yet, or?
Yeah,
a lot of skating going on.
Yeah, it is.
Really physical game.
Yeah, it's difficult because, you know, we've got the short flip tomorrow. We're burning out guys tonight, and we've got to be ready to play at 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, which is going to be very hard on us. And 5-on-5, we had 4 lines ready to go tonight, and we've only been able to use you know, half that number just to kill penalties.
All right, well, you get back to the boys. Give them a good pep talk.
Yeah.
And up to you guys.
Okay. See you later, Scrunch.
Very much, Gia and Alex. We can now have a look at that Tilburg goal, which they eventually got late in the second period. Here it is, Bob.
Puck deep in the zone and comes all the way out to the point. That's where it was going the whole time. Van Gerwen just takes the shot. Again, traffic in front of the goal, and I don't think he saw that puck completely. Martin Mackay was a bit screened on that. This is a better view of that, although it goes a little bit more over. You can see the Sheffield Steeler player actually going in front of the path of the puck, and as a result of that, I think that caught Martin Mackay off.
So it's incredibly close now between the two sides. 2-1. Both sides have been taking an awful lot of penalties, and that could be the crucial thing in the third period. Plenty of young supporters enjoying all the action. I'm sure they're enjoying the tension of it just as much as the actual goal action itself. And they're just waiting now for the third and final period. The Sheffield Steelers have showed their strength. Do they have nerves of steel too? You can find out very shortly. Still to come here on Sky Sports. The third period coming up after the break. Welcome back to Tilburg. Sheffield Steelers flying the flag for Great Britain as the champions of the British League, and they're playing the host nation, Tilburg Trappers of Holland, the champions of Holland. They're the side that they're playing in the first game tonight, also the champions of Slovenia and the champions of Spain in this Europa Cup quarter-final. But this particular match could hardly be closer, could it? 2-1 to the Sheffield Steelers. They were leading by 1-0 at the end of the first period. Ron Schuder with both the goals for the Sheffield Steelers. And 2-1 with a late goal scored by the Tilburg Trappers at the end of that period. Plenty of penalties. There's going to be an awful lot more action in this game still to come. The players about to come back onto the ice, so let's go and join our commentators. Bob Corral, but first of all, Tony Millard.
Yes, once again, onto the ice we come, the third period. 5 minutes of the penalty remaining, 5 minutes of the power play in favour of the Sheffield Steelers due here as we start the period 3. 2-1 the scoreline to the Sheffield Steelers, and let's see them come in there. Tommy Plummer coming out, expecting goals from him tonight. The fans still waiting to get back to their seats, and Bob Corral has joined me back down here at the commentary point after chatting through what went on in that second period. And really, Bob, we've caught our breath back, but this really has been a story of penalties non-stop, hasn't it?
It has, and listening to Alex Dampier between periods, you can quite clearly see what his message is to his players. And we've got a 2-1 ice hockey game here, Tony, and all 3 goals have been scored on the power play. So I think that answers a lot of questions for the people that are watching out there.
Well, no doubt about the hero of the match so far, Martin Mackay, the Steelers tender, 27-year-old. He used to play for Edinburgh, of course, in his 3rd season with the Steelers, and certainly he's shown his worth. Do you think the threat of Cowley coming over from Canada and the States to take his place might have told a bit?
Well, I mean, you know, it puts a player on the spot, it makes him perform, and there's no question that Mackay can play, and he's certainly shown so tonight. I mean, this is a big competition for them, but I know that Alex Dampier's plans are not to use Wayne Cowley all the time, so Martin Mackay is still a key figure in the Steeler lineup.
And a key figure in your picture, Ron Schuder, who scored both the goals. Really his experience telling, and the power of that slap shot is something vital to the Steelers, isn't it, Bob?
He is. He's Mr. Sheffield Steeler in Sheffield. You know, he does everything there. He's just one of the guys that's been around since the day one and inception of the club, and you know, he's a tremendous ambassador for the sport, and you can say nothing more about him.
Well, we don't need to, because he's played his part here as we start the third period with Sheffield Steelers leading by 2-1. Is there a chance straight away there on the attack there for Tommy Plummer? But the puck whacked out to the point. In goes the shot. The keeper is down, who takes it outside the area, but Andre Marlowe plays it in. There's a chance here of an offside, but they're going to wait for them to bring it out. And the offside call, of course, withdrawn there as the Trappers had possession. And there was a very heavy check there on Tony Plummer. And I don't think he saw it coming, but nevertheless, he gets a chance to survive. Sheffield fans are enjoying this. They know they're in front, and this perhaps the first stage, Bob, towards a place in the European Championship semi-finals. But really, that Slovenian side this afternoon is going to pose a threat, isn't it?
They are, and one of the important points there made by Coach Dampier again during that interview was, is they've drawn the short straw. They've got to play Slovenia tomorrow afternoon. Very little time for rest for all of his players. They're going to be tired going into that game.
Well, they won't be so tired if they can get another goal here, and that was desperately close there, because it was guessed right, in fact, by Marco Hendricks. But here come the Trappers. Van der Heuvel. Van Gerven. Bukart's in attendance. Mackay reads it well. The Steelers get it out of the zone. And now the chase is on. A chance for Steve Nemeth. Men with him. Can the pass get across? Oh, no, he's taken out. A brilliant piece of defensive work there, because if he'd got the pass away there, the goal was begging, wasn't it?
That was a 2-on-1 situation from the blue line in, and you can see the disappointment in Steve Nemeth. On the far side is Tony Hand, but a nice defensive play by Tilburg and trying to shut that lane down. Nemeth looking for his option, but just can't quite do it. He can't get the puck across. If you'd have got that to Tony Hand, we would have had a 3-1 hockey game.
And Marco Hendricks taking a leaf out of the book of Martin Mackay, but the face-off still deep in the Trappers' zone. Of course, while we were talking, of course, the penalty ended, both sides at full strength, the power play chance going, but now the Steelers, let's hope they can stay at full strength and try and preserve this lead. Deep in the Trappers' zone, Tony Hand is after it into the corner, turns it across, kicked away by the keeper, but only out as far as O'Connor. The shot goes in, the gloves are lost, picked up, in fact, by Nicky Chin. Trappers bringing it out. Good stick handling by McInnes. A cover from Shudra. Holds it against the boards and a chance for a rest here. A time for consolidation, perhaps, and a time not to give away any silly penalties. And there's the misconduct. Penalty has ended. In fact, the major penalty ended for Rob Wilson, with Mark Wright going back to the bench, Rob. But really, Mark Wright hasn't played any part in the match. It was a token there, and Wilson isn't going to play any further part, is he?
He's not, but they'll look forward to having him back tomorrow, I'm sure. We talked earlier on about officiating, and one of the things with tournaments and competitions of this nature is the International Ice Hockey Federation clamp down on officiating and say, fellas, don't let a game get out of hand. And I think this is one of the things that's happening.
Well, Mackay again equal to yet another shot here as the Steelers try to get it out of the zone, but Bukart gets it deep into the Steelers zone. The shot is blocked there, and can the Steelers come away here? No, the cover is not good, and they're robbed on the edge of the blue line, but great defensive work there. And certainly we saw Andre Marlowe at his best and his calmest there as the Trappers come away. It's Rob, and this could count. George is in. The puck is bouncing back. George is covered well there. In fact, for the Trappers, it was Van Ranzau that got it back, and there's a goal. That's touched in, I think, by Nicky Chin. The celebrations are thick and fast. It seemed to me, Bob, that Nicky Chin got the final touch as the loose puck was bouncing around there. The ex-Cardiff player who played against Sheffield, of course, in the championship final last year. But there's Nicky Chin celebrating his first goal of the game, Bob.
That's right. Pressure by Justin George here deep in the zone, allowing Tony Hand to pick the puck up, get it out front to Nicky Chin, who makes no mistake. The play is started by Chin, who gets the shot deep in the zone. George goes in, makes the play, actually wins a one-on-one battle. There's Tony Hand coming in, picking up the loose puck out to Nicky Chin. No mistake. Big goal, Sheffield Steelers.
And while we've been talking, down in front of us, we've got Kellen and DeCourt both in the box. But as a coincidental penalties, the teams are both staying at 5 men out on the ice, Bob, and away we go with the Steelers. Now the insurance goal, 3-1 to the Steelers. Nicky Chin's first goal of the night. But the Steelers coming, the Trappers coming forward. Rob McInnes, the stylish Canadian, a strong player in possession, and Mackay gets a glove to that, but away it goes outside his left post. Here come the Steelers. Can they get it out? The Trappers keep it in. Important interception by Tim Cranston, and away come the Steelers. Equally so was the interception there by McInnes, but he loses possession. McKechnie, but Cranston's on the puck. 2-on-1 situation. Can Cranston square it across? Not far enough. 26 for the Trappers, David Bukart. Millie. Cranston in the corner. Here come the Trappers once again. Vital time here. Van der Heuvel, but Shudra takes up plenty of space. Big Ron Shudra there, and that was really a good piece of defensive work there by the veteran, or dare I call him that. Whacked away. Changing on the fly, both teams there now with Jacobs in possession. Cruz, the Canadian, turns quickly for Tilburg. Wolves with him. Could the penalty be called there on Tony Hand? It is. The Steelers are going to be short-handed again as Tony Hand, seemingly an unnecessary trip there, Bob, and that is a valuable player going into the box for 2 minutes.
Disgust in the face of that Sheffield Steelers supporter that we just saw earlier on, and really That's a difficult call to make. In the third period, we've got a game where the score line is 3-1. It's very close and tight. You know, you want to call penalties that are going to have some sort of significance, and I really don't think that was the case.
Would one suggest you might just be supporting Sheffield here, Bob? Perhaps we might agree on that I think that a neutral might have said it was a penalty. Yeah.
Well, my opinion on that is, I mean, the supporters come here, they come to see ice hockey, they come to see the teams play. And when you see penalties like this all the time, that just interrupts the game.
The game is not interrupted now because we're underway with the Trappers on a power play. And here they come. They definitely want to score here. Wolf, a strong player, takes it in, checks back. Cruz is with him, but it's flicked out well. Flicked out well there by Steve Nemeth. It's the Steelers that have to consolidate. Wolf misses it. Icing called. Deep into the zone.
That's right. Little errant pass there with the puck going over the barrier, so as a result, it'll bring it back to where the actual pass was initiated.
I thought he'd taken the pass from his own side of the red line, but here we go.
Effectively an offside pass, Tony. But interestingly enough, a player that's playing in a match like this with a rink as warm as it is this evening can lose anywhere from half a stone to 10 pounds, and that has its toll on the players. So as a result of that, you know, they'll be feeling this pressure.
There's going to be a few players mighty tired after this one this evening as the Trappers come forward. Cruz is on the wing, picks it up. The cover goes in brilliantly there from the hard-working Ron Shudra. Once again, he's scored twice tonight. He's shown his worth in defence, and certainly at the moment rivaling perhaps Martin Mackay as man of the match for the Steelers. But here come the Trappers. McGuinness is robbed by Priestley, who whacks it back up the ice. Just over a minute on the penalty. The Steelers really have been pretty good at this penalty killing tonight. They just conceded one power play goal so far.
They had. All goals scored have been power plays, and they've been sticking to a very rigid game plan, and it's certainly been working for them.
The Steelers have to do some work here, but it's not as it comes out of the zone. 45 seconds remaining on the penalty now. They have to survive. Another Trappers power play. Can the Steelers keep them at bay? McGuinness, Cruz, surely in ahead of the puck. Wolf. The cover there, problems. Ron Shudra lifting his stick. Another penalty called, I think, on the Steelers. Another referee letting that one go in the end, having lifted his arm. Reeson with the shot. It's off target. The 10th time Tilburg have had a power play, and only on one of those 10 occasions have they managed to score a goal. 10 seconds remaining for the Steelers to survive yet another one. But here comes Tilburg. The shot goes in, and once again, Martin Mackay. Really, any baseball catcher wouldn't have matched this man this evening, Rob.
Well, I'm only maybe 10, 15 feet above the ice surface, and I never saw that puck being shot, other than going in Martin Mackay's glove. So I can tell you that puck was moving. I bet you that was moving upwards of 100 miles an hour, Tony. There we are. McGuinness just stepping in outside over the blue line, I should say. Lets the puck go, but Mackay makes a nice save. He comes out from his net, and this is very important because it leaves little room for the shooter to actually find net. When you come out of your zone, or come out of your net, I should say, it cuts down angles and lessens the scoring opportunity or the angles of shooting on the goalkeeper.
Yes, he's had a great game. 1 second remaining on the penalty, and Tony Hand is waiting to come out from the box there, and I'm sure he'll waste no time getting the barrier door open and away to join his teammates on the ice. There he is, Tony Hand's on the ice, and the Steelers are back to strength, and only 1 of 10 power plays has so far proved profitable for the Tilburg Trappers. It's 3-1 to the Steelers, on their way to 2 points in this mini-league quarter-final table. The Trappers in possession, a brilliant save there, and certainly Andre Marlowe looking as if he was the goaltender. Mackay wasn't needed for that one. Plummer taken into the boards there. No penalty given as the puck goes back up the ice. 13.5 minutes remaining in this match. 2 points here for the asking for the Steelers, but everything can change in hockey if any more penalties are given away. But there's Tony Hand. Tony Hand, 1-against-1 situation. In goes the shot. It comes free for Van der Heuvel to take it up the ice for the Steelers. But he loses possession, and Back they go to start all over again. Collecting the puck is Reeson. Over the red line, deep into the zone. Bob, new tactics being adopted, it seems, by the Trappers to just get the puck into the Steelers zone and chase it. But the Steelers are out. Priestley has Nemeth with him. Priestley with the shot, but there we are, it's blocked and a penalty called. And this is a chance surely for a power play now here for the Steelers. No, it's not called, it's an offside decision there, and we just thought there might just have been the opportunity there for the Steelers. It looked as if it was hooking on Ken Priestley, but it wasn't to be. And there's the shot as the puck comes across the goal mouth, and the chance went begging there.
He did. Priestley getting himself into a bit of a unique situation where he lost his option to get it across to the guy that would be the ideal shooter. But nonetheless, perhaps he could have shot it himself, I don't know. It's a difficult one to call. I didn't think it was offside.
So there we are. Bob didn't think it was offside. Priestley didn't think it was offside, but here we go again. The puck deep in the zone behind the goal for the Trappers, so they've got to come out, and there's a mistake, but not spotted, and ready back we come here. The Steelers now getting forward, trying to keep the puck in the Trappers zone, using all their endeavours. Les Millie around behind the goal, but it's the Trappers coming out, 3 against 2, but back goes Steve Nemeth to cover, and Nemeth is going to get there first, and he does. Priestley getting it, or inadvertently flicking it outside the defensive zone, fighting to control the puck, and the Trappers start all over again. Rob McInnes, robbed in fact, Steve Nemeth. Nemeth loses out, and a long puck right up the ice, allowed to run on by the officials as the teams change on the fly. Return to the other end of the rink, and this time it's taken right back deep into the Steelers zone. Just under 12 minutes remaining. The Steelers lead by 3-1. Remember this afternoon, victory for Olympia Hertz from Slovenia. Looking a very, very good side, and that's going to be a tough one, Bob, tomorrow afternoon for the Steelers.
As we said, short turnaround time, and we've now got Tilburg taking that opportunity to actually shoot the puck in the zone. The coaching staff changing their tactics. Doug Mason, a very capable individual. He knows all about British ice hockey, and he's just changing things around perhaps a little bit. As a result of that, that's going to force Sheffield to have to dig the puck out deeper in their own zone, and that's not always easy, Tony.
Steelers deep in their own zone, leading by 3-1.
In terms of goalkeeping, one of the most important aspects of it this evening have to be the fact that Martin Mackay, anything that's loose around the front of the net, he's jumping on, grabbing and creating a stoppage in play, and that's very important.
O'Connor for the Steelers, taking his time. The forechecking now going on from the Tilburg Trappers to try and get the puck and keep it deep in the zone. A shot on the turn, completely missed there, but the Steelers come away. George gets a stick to that. Chin chasing it. Chin wins it by accident. It hits him as it comes out, and somehow, from a narrow angle, Hendricks gets down to that one. Chin would have been better to have put the pass across the front of the net, surely, Bob.
I think he certainly tried to do that momentarily. He managed to lose it in the corner there. Once again, Alex Dampier changing his lines. Here we see Nicky Chin just trying to get that puck in front to perhaps create a scoring opportunity. But Heinrichs in the Tilburg nets jumps on it again. Doesn't want any hassles in front of that net. Hang on to it, let them regroup, and get the face-off.
The face-off, Cranston's there for the Steelers. But it's won again for the Trappers, this time by Bram van Boekhart. Bringing the puck out, coming over the blue line. Trappers are determined to try and pull this back deep into the zone. There goes McKechnie. Puck brought down quickly by his colleague, who's taken into the boards by Nicky Chin, but here come the Steelers away. Plummer's on a run. Here goes Marlowe, overlapping down the left. The slap shot's in and wide. Here come the Trappers. The game opening out for the Trappers' point of view as they fire it right up the far end of the ice, and they've got to chase it. The Steelers, though, win it back. Millie. The chase goes in. Problems in the corner. And in turn for the Trappers, Van der Heuvel bringing it out. Up to the red line. Flicked inside, a dreadful mistake there. Cranston's on it, on the left from Plummer, but the block from the defenseman there gets down well indeed for the Trappers to save that as they come away now. And Reeson it is with the puck, flicking it back into the Steelers' defensive zone. That played out surely here, and Steve Nemeth is going to give chase end to end. 3-1 to the Steelers. Just under 10 minutes remaining. The slap shot going in for the Trappers from Rob McInnes. It's organisation that the Steelers need at the moment, and determination. I'm sure Alex Dampier knows exactly what his men want to do. Bob and Tony Hand could hardly be a better man to have with the puck at the moment. I spoke too soon as he loses possession. Hand is back all the way to regain possession there, and here we go with Steve Nemeth. He was behind his blue line when the pass was made, so he could play this one if he wanted to. Face off deep in the Trappers zone, and there was an example, Bob, for you, that Nemeth was behind his own blue line when the pass was made, but didn't touch it to the far end of the rink, and that's quite in order.
It is. He's a very quick skater. It's a big attribute of his game. Another thing that's happening with Sheffield is the fact that we see this on and on and on again. Anytime there's a loose puck, they're always outnumbering Tilburg to gain possession of that puck, and that's one of the reasons why they're having so much success here tonight.
Just over 9 minutes to go. The insurance goal is there because the Steelers lead 3-1, 2 to Ron Shudra, 1 for Nicky Chin. The reply coming from Van Gerwen for the Tilburg Trappers. 3 of the 4 goals so far on power play situations. It's O'Connor to chase it back for the Steelers. Shudra's with him, Chin in possession. Chin flicks it into the Trappers zone, only for Wolf to pick it up and bring the puck out. It appears to be hooked, and the penalty's called, and once again we've got another penalty going the way of the Sheffield Steelers, and this time it looks as if it's going to be, I think, Justin George coming into the box.
Everybody else has been in the box tonight, Tony, so why not Justin George?
Well, Justin George, of course, had to sit out a penalty for Martin Mackay, I think it was, early on, and so he's been there before.
At least he's in on his own accord this time.
So, once again, I think it's the 11th power play it is we have for the Sheffield Steelers to battle against, going the way of the Tilburg Trappers. 8 minutes and 52 seconds remaining, and a full 2 minutes to be served by Justin George, unless, of course, the Trappers score a goal. Buchart coming back with Cruz to mount the power play for the Tilburg Trappers. Sheffield have got Millie there. They've got Shudra, of course, the vital man there, who almost catches that at his head, and he has to duck.
Offside the call on that play. Mike O'Connor breathing a sigh of relief as we see Chris Kellen just coming out of the penalty box now after serving his penalty. And that'll certainly help the defensive corps of the Sheffield Steelers because they've been very short-staffed as a result of that incident.
And of course, we've got the court coming on for the Trappers as well, who was also serving a coincidental misconduct penalty, it seemed, with Chris Kellen. 8.5 minutes remaining. The Steelers battling short-handed against the power play of the Tilburg Trappers. The Sheffield fans have started to make a noise here. I think they're enjoying this one now. It was a bit difficult for them early on when the penalties were coming thick and fast, but now I think that insurance goal, which means 3-1 at the moment to the Steelers, has given them just that little bit of extra edge, Bob.
It has, and if Tilburg managed to get a goal back and get back into this game, it could be very, very exciting leading up to the final buzzer.
And here they come with Cruz chasing it in on Van Gerwen's pass. It's whacked outside the blue line by the Steelers, who funnel back and wait for Rob McInnes to come forward. A lovely pass from McGuinness, but surely Wolf's offside there as Cruz takes it into the zone. And although he's disputing it, he was a good 6 feet over the line, I think, Bob, when that was called.
Listen, if you're going to argue, you might as well argue on the blatant ones.
A simple offside decision, that one. We're not going to argue about that. The four men of Sheffield have now to show their steel, to keep at bay the Tilburg Trappers. And the Trappers have the big guns out there. Wolf is there, Van Gerwen is there, Cruz, the Canadian, is there. Eight minutes and 9 seconds, and the Sheffield fans have started to count this one down. Here come the Trappers. Once again, the puck far deep into the Steelers zone, but whacked out all the way up the ice, almost by a golf shot there from Andre Marlowe. The Trappers need to keep this in. Van Gerwen misses it. He's helped out. Wins it. Plays it wide to the point. In goes the shot from Cruz. It's stopped on the way by Nicky Chin, I think it is. He's back there to play his part and do a bit of work. Chin, one of the goal scorers. This is dangerous. Wolf with the shot. Mackay, pleased to watch it go wide. And the puck is out and is calling for it to be taken at the far end of the rink. But the linesman is going to take the face-off just outside the blue line. There are 30 seconds remaining on the penalty. The clock being run down, 7 minutes and 22 seconds remaining. The good news for the Steelers fans is they lead by 3-1. Bob, can they hold on? Okay.
I'm sure they can. That call was made, and that face-off is outside the blue line, Tony, as a result of a Tilburg player putting the puck over the boards. Had that gone off a Sheffield player, that puck would have been in the Sheffield zone and the face-off would have occurred there.
Tilburg forcing themselves forward. Defence in depth. The Trappers on the attack. McKechnie 3-2 out on the blue line. There goes Mackay. Here come the Steelers over the blue line. Chance of another goal. A brilliant save there by Hendricks, and the Steelers are going to have to keep battling here as the puck is played out to the defensive area. Sky Sports Centre and Ringside Boxing will follow this live ice hockey from Tilburg. Sky Sports Centre and live Ringside Boxing will follow our live broadcast here from Tilburg as the Steelers lead by 3-1 with 6 minutes and 15 seconds remaining. Priestley winning possession, but the offside call brings the puck back. George, meanwhile, came out of the penalty box. The Steelers had survived yet another power play, and this really is a quality of their play that certainly needs praising, Bob.
A very good team effort by the Sheffield Steelers. Justin George, as you say, comes out of the penalty box, picks the puck up in the zone, actually goes the length of the ice and creates a scoring opportunity. That just indicates the type of players that the Steelers have, and any one of them are a game-breaking player and could change this game around.
Van der Heuvel in possession, but it's one back for the Steelers, and a great effort there by Nemeth, who's making his presence felt on his comeback to the side. Surely the offside call there is going to be made against Priestley on that one, and back comes the puck. The first step, perhaps, for the Sheffield Steelers in making their way to the semi-final group of this. That will be in about 5 weeks' time if they can make it, but they've got a few hurdles yet to overcome. They've almost overcome this one. They're leading by 3-1 with 3 seconds under 6 minutes to go.
Sheffield coaching staff will be saying to their guys, don't take any chances, get the puck out of the zone, just make play of it, but no funny passes, nothing up the middle or anything like that. Everything on the boards around the barrier of the rink.
Tilburg Trappers, and here's the talent of Van Heuvel putting the puck into the corner. The chase is on from Marco Donders. Steelers press back. McGuinness trying to get it across goal, but in fact taking it round behind the goal. In goes the challenge there from Chris Kelland. The experienced Kelland proving his worth now. Maybe that rest in the box there did him some benefit, Bob.
Certainly so. He's a little bit older, but he's a lot wiser.
Puck still deep in the zone, and Mackay watches that one go by, and the puck is whacked out. There's a chance here, a brilliant save there by Marco Hendricks, coming out just in the nick of time as both teams change on the fly. Shudra flicking it out, and there's a call again. A hooking call, and the penalty is going to be, oh dear, once again, and this could be tight, short-handed there, because it's Chris Kelland that goes into the box, and it's going to be one final chance of a power play for the Tilburg Trappers, and that really, if that penalty concedes a goal, then it's going to be a nervous last couple of minutes or so, Bob, for Alex Dampier and his team alike.
They will, but in the same scenario, although they're playing short-handed, they're very much used to that, I should say, at this stage of the game, and they'll be able to ice the puck, and that's got to be hard on the Tilburg side because it's that much more skating.
The Trappers mounting a power play yet again. Most have been absorbed so far. Mark Wolf on the puck, deep in the Steelers' end, holding the puck against the boards and winning a face-off where he needs it, immediately adjacent to the goal. Steelers lead by 3-1, 4 minutes and 33 seconds remaining. 1 minute and 45 seconds remaining on Chris Kelland's penalty. That's the penalty they have to kill. That's the length of time remaining on the Trappers' power play.
All the Sheffield players will be looking again to add a lot of support to that puck. They don't want any situations where they're caught in a difficult position and would create a scoring opportunity for Tilburg.
Back to point for Van Gerwen. There goes Van Gerwen, and once again Mackay's equal to it. The slap shot going in from Van Gerwen on point, and Mackay getting a clear side of that and catching it well and truly and firmly in that left-hand glove that looks so safe and sure this evening, Bob.
It's been a bump and grind style of game. The puck coming back to Van Gerwen on the point. He lets the shot go. Someone was trying to get in front there to try and screen Mackay, because that's how they got their first goal. Just got there a little bit late, but you can see the Sheffield defense trying to keep the front of that net clear so Mackay can see the puck.
And see if he can see this one from the face-off, because the Trappers are mounting a power play and they're going to get it back to the point if they can, but the determination is there from Tony Hand. In goes Andre Marlowe to hold it against the board, but Cruz comes out with him as O'Connor goes across. A stick is lost, and the referee decides that something can be happening. He says, no, just play on. The Steelers have got it out of the defensive zone, and that's what really matters as the Trappers change on the fly. Just under 4 minutes to go. The offside call as the puck is taken by Theo Van Gerwen into the zone, but too late. A man's in front of him, and really they've got to start timing this better if they're going to make those shots count, Bob.
They initially started dumping the puck in the zone, which was working for them because they were creating pressure on Sheffield defense deep in the zone and forcing them to make a play quickly. As a result, now they're trying to carry the puck in over the blue line. They're getting caught on the offside again.
The vital presence of Tony Hand there on the ice for the Steelers. A man who can certainly get that puck, hold it, and do almost what he wants to with it. But the pressure there from Millie, keeping it outside the defensive zone. 3 minutes and 40 seconds to go. McKechnie. Mackay confidently watches that go by. It's whacked out to the other end by Andre Marlowe, and now he has his chance to take a rest. The Steelers are going to try and run the clock down here, surely. McKechnie. The covers in from very quickly there from Marlowe. Whacked away. Tony Hand takes a rest, goes to the bench. They all change on the fly. Shudra stays there. Priestley comes back to hold the fort. 11 seconds remaining on Kelland's penalty. And it seems that yet another power play opportunity is going to go begging for the Trappers. And the presence of Chris Kellan back on the ice means that once again the Steelers have survived. And really, we can hardly count the times they've done that tonight, Bob.
Very disciplined style of play, and certainly is a key when you're playing short-handed. And that's indicative of all the Sheffield Steelers sides that we've seen over the past couple of years anyway.
2.5 minutes remaining. Steelers in front by 3-1. And there's a call here. And that could be an important call. Takes play back up to the red line.
Alex Dampier looking a bit worried, trying to figure out what exactly the call is. He knows that there's very little time left on the clock, but if Tilburg could manage to get one goal here very, very quickly, we could be in for an exciting couple of last minutes of this game.
2 minutes and 25 seconds, and Alex Dampier doesn't have a watch.
One of the interesting things is, at this stage of the game, it is very important on where that face-off is going to take place. If it's in the Tilburg end of the ice, it's a lot more relief on the Sheffield side.
We're waiting to see here exactly what the call is going to be. Nobody in the box at the moment. Confusion abounding. Face-off seemingly with two teams at full strength in the middle of the ice.
Seems to me there must have been a mistake on the call on the offside pass, and it's just been brought back to center ice, Tony.
Chin trying to deliver the check there as the puck goes deep into the Steelers zone. Not too many opportunities remaining. The Steelers battling. They must stay calm. Keep the Trappers at bay. Nicky Chin takes his man into the boards. No call. Here come the Steelers. Could this be number 4? The penalty is called against Nicky Chin. And there's another power play situation developing against the Sheffield Steelers as Nicky Chin goes to the box there. He took his man into the boards in the first place, and then all hell let loose, Bob.
It's a very bad call to have against you as well, because Sheffield was breaking out at that point on a 3-on-1 with only one defender back from Tilburg. As a result, the penalty nullifies the play, and it's called back, and we have a face-off just outside the Sheffield zone.
So a power play the way of the Tilburg Trappers with 1 minute and 48 seconds to play. And Ron Shudra has gone to the bench to take a well-earned rest. He's been on for most of these efforts, but here he's leaving it. Chris Kellan is there. Priestley is there. Cruz takes it into the Steelers zone for the Trappers. Picked up by Jacobs. Van Gerwen's on point. Comes out, and can they move this here? Because away they come. Priestley's effort there has won the puck, and the calmness of Tony Hand deposits the puck at the far end of the ice. 1 minute and 20 seconds remaining. 1 minute and 33 seconds on the power play. The Steelers can go to the end. Is that going to be another trip against Priestley? No, the referee says it was a dive. Here come the Steelers. Priestley, is he on his own here? Goes Tony Hand. Could this be a second goal for Tony Hand? Yes, it is. A brilliant goal. Tony Hand, his assist early on. That has sewn it up. That's the first short-handed goal of the night. A marvellous goal there from Tony Hand, and the Steelers fans go mad.
That's the air out of the sails of the Tilburg side with just 1 minute and 4 seconds left in the game. The goal couldn't have come at a better time. Tilburg pressing. Priestley managed to come out of the zone and just headmans the puck to Tony Hand, who's in one-on-one on the goalkeeper. He makes no mistake. Nice little move there and puts it in upstairs. Priestley to Tony Hand, all kinds of time. Just waits and picks his spot. 4-1,
Sheffield Steelers.
The Steelers now are certainly bagging 2 points from their first game here. The Sheffield fans are singing. 57 seconds remain. It's still power play time for the Trappers, but nobody really cares because the Steelers are winning this by 4 goals to 1. Boucard. So Tony Hand's first goal to add to his 2 assists here this evening. A talented forward. To Court. 25 seconds remaining. 23. Les Millie bringing it out. Les Millie the entire length of the ice. Can he go round the net, and it tries to turn it in, but the block's there from Marco Hendricks with just 11 seconds remaining. A great save by the Tilburg Trappers keeper. 10 seconds remaining. 4-1 it is. The Sheffield fans are singing. Away to my right, the Union Jacks are being waved, and they're on their feet, Bob. A great night now for the Sheffield fans.
It's all over but the crying. Although it's been a bit controversial, at the end of the day, everything seems to have gone Sheffield's way and sets the stage for a very, very important counter against Slovenia tomorrow afternoon. Let's hope that that's an action-packed contest.
Steelers in possession. Chris Callan has time to play with this. They're counting the seconds down. 3, 2, 1. There goes the hooter. There goes the applause. 4 goals to 1. The Steelers have taken this one. 4 goals to 1. Deserved victory here. The players are jubilant. The goals coming, 2 from Ron Shudra, 1 from Nicky Chin, 1 from Tony Hand. 2 of them on a power play, but we know now that the Steelers, the only reply came from Van Gerwen, and we know full well that the Steelers have 2 points, and this is going to be a night to remember. Sheffield Steelers 4, Tilburg Trappers 1.
What an incredible game. The Steelers, you have to say, did it the hard way, but they certainly deserved that victory. It was a very, very good victory indeed for the Sheffield Steelers to open this Europa Cup quarter-final group. We've got Ron Shudra down on the other side of the ice with Gia.
Well, I've managed to grab Ron here. Great game, Rob. Now, you've really done your fans well. How do you guys feel about the game tonight?
Well, it's a good start for us in the tournament right now. I mean, we have a lot of fans coming down to watch us and things like that. But, you know, we did the business today. We're short-handed pretty much most of the game, and that's going to be tough on us tomorrow if we keep that up. But, you know, we just got to keep working hard and just go right through everything like that.
So what do you think of the game tomorrow with Slovenia? How do you think it's going to be?
Well, we'll find out when we get there. I mean, we don't know a lot about them if the guys watched the game today, but we know what we got to do with them. It's just a matter of trying to shut them down a little bit and play a game to 1 goal against again.
All right, you go and enjoy the celebrations. I've had a fantastic time. Back to you, Steve.
Thank you, Gia. Thank you to Ron Shudra. He and the rest of the Steelers players need to get to bed pretty quick, actually, now, because they've got a rest for tomorrow's game. The game coming up tomorrow is going to be against Slovenia. They're the top team, Olympia Hertz of Slovenia at the moment. They won this afternoon 17-2 against the Spanish champions, who are bottom of the table by some way. Sheffield then are second on goal count behind Olympia Hertz, and that matches the game that we're going to see tomorrow here live and exclusive on Sky Sports. And then on Sunday there's a game coming up against Zuri Erdin of Spain. That one as well here on Sky, and really, if those games are anywhere near as good as the one we've enjoyed here in our first game on Sky Sports tonight, it's going to be one that you really, really didn't ought to miss, so please join us again tomorrow. From us all in Tilburg, good night.
Hello and welcome to Friday's Sky Sports Centre Up.